Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. Go ahead. What do you got to say? Go ahead. No, you're in the middle of something.
You did great.
Thank you. Fucking asshole.
I hope they just keep that in. Just keep that whole shit in.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome to
I knew it. I fucking knew he was going to do that. Listen, I'm trying to interview John. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I'm your host, Alex Martinez. Or I'm trying to be your host, Alex Martinez. And today, we have a very special guest. He's been on the podcast before, Professor John Cabay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
No, not you. Not you. John is a black belt under Professor Paul Nava, a first-degree black belt, sorry. And we just got done with a seminar today, and I took advantage of him being in the neighborhood, and I got him on the podcast. John, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Yeah. We also have our very own Alex the Tojo Kray and my beautiful wife, Aimee.
Hello, hello.
Yes. So, John, tell me about the seminar today, dude. Talk to me.
Good seminar. Milton always puts on a good show.
Good show, right?
I wish he would be a little bit funnier, though. You know? If he could just crack a joke or two.
Yeah.
Then,
He's way too serious.
He's way too serious.
Yeah.
Takes his stuff way too seriously.
But I got some good stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been out to his academy in Nashville?
I have not.
Okay. So,
You guys have, though.
Yeah, we have.
It was awesome.
It's nice, man. Nashville's a cool town. Yeah.
Sounds like we're going in May next year, maybe.
We're going in May.
Yeah.
This year,
This
my
year.
friend.
This year. Yes, this May.
year. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
It
this
is
year.
2023 already.
2023. That's
Yeah,
right.
man. Yeah. So, hey, listen, one of the reasons I want to get in the podcast, I know we had you on before, but it was kind of full house. You know what I mean? 4 different people
That
trying to
was
tell
a-
4 different stories.
That was a pretty insightful room. You know, I mean, I learned a lot that day.
Yeah. It was
Inspiring. Did I say
inspiring.
insightful?
Yeah. No, I picked up what you're putting down. So one of the things that, you know, we had talked about is kind of an origin story, but not everybody had a real good chance. I mean, I guess we gave Q an opportunity to tell his origin story and how he found jiu-jitsu and stuff. But
Sure.
you and I met when we were purple belts, and I remember we were the same weight class, we were the same age, we were the same belt level, and we had to make a decision, right? Tournaments are coming up. Who's going to do what weight class? And I went to 168 pounds, and you did not. Fucker.
I did.
But we did
Paul
well.
wanted me to go down.
Yeah, but we did well. I mean,
Amy, how'd you feel about him going to 168?
Thanks for asking, Tojo, because if he ever goes down to 168 again, we're going to be fighting a lot.
Yeah, that was rough,
It was
dude.
not okay.
Yeah, that was rough. I did Master Worlds that year at 168.
Wow.
Yeah. Did not go well. Did not go well.
Turns out he had no energy.
No, I did.
Imagine that. That's crazy. It's weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
But
So weird.
You know, one thing about the last podcast that we did with Q, Paul, and you, we had a great conversation over at Pour over a couple beers, and then you know, did the podcast and had an awesome conversation, and then we had another awesome conversation in my backyard.
Yeah.
You know, after, and I was like, man, we could have had easily 5 hours of conversation that day. So, so I definitely want to get some of that in. You know what I mean?
I'd love to try to help.
Yeah, dude. So, so tell me about. So when we first met, you had just come from Colorado, but you're originally an Arizona guy.
I am.
Yeah.
Grew up in Tempe.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
McClintock.
McClintock High
Class
School.
of 91, 89, 90 state champs. So
Oh, nice.
Football.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Were
Still
you-
living the glory days.
Did you play or did you practice with the team? Because there's a difference.
There is. Well, I was late. So I played football from Pop Warner Pee Wee football all the way through maybe, I think, about 8th grade. And
Okay.
then around 8th grade, I kind of took a turn for the worse a little bit, stopped playing sports, was making some weird decisions. But then I got back into football my sophomore year in high school. And the year that we took state was my junior year. And I had some playing time. I was a special teams guy. I was
Okay.
earning it because I didn't play freshman or, ball with a lot of those guys. So I had to kind of earn it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I played.
Okay.
It was an amazing experience. We beat Westwood High School 42-14.
It's another one of those
Wow.
legacy schools. My mom
No.
went to Westwood High School.
We were
Yeah.
5A back in the day too. I mean,
Wow.
I think it's different now. They've changed things
They've
around.
changed it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good experience.
No, that's cool. So tell me about you in high school. Who were you? Because so I've always known you as Hippie John.
Yeah.
Totally laid back, relaxed, like nothing bothers you. Everything just flows off your back.
Yeah.
And that's not the case your whole life.
Wasn't always this easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So I was like a lot of kids, man. I was a little angry, maybe. You know, I had some things to work through. I had some interesting things happen to me when I was a child. You know, not always the greatest experiences, a little bit of trauma, and you know, fortunately, I played a lot of sports.
Yeah,
and me in high school, I was an athlete, but I got along with every type of person in that high school. You know, I had music friends. Fortunately, I you know, my mom forced me to play music. I should have listened to her, but you know, I stopped doing that when I was about 17. But you know, I had my Dungeons and Dragons friends that I played like role playing games with. I had my athlete friends. I had my drug friends, my pot friends. You know, those kind of the little bit of a negative contingent. But I got along with everybody, man. But fortunately, high school for me was a little weird, like anybody else, right? I didn't really learn anything in high school. I didn't learn how to use my mind, but fortunately I played sports, so I got to go through the process. And I finished it, which was, you know, so me in high school, man, I was a wreck. I was a mess.
Yeah.
Just trying to, you know, fake it like everybody else pretty much.
Well, you got to figure out who you are. Like there's so much going on in your body at that age. Hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
You're trying new things. You're friends with everybody, right? And you're gaining some independence from your parents, like and the things that they have instilled in you, but you've got to find your own way. So yeah, we're all a mess at that point.
I think it's a little bit of a defense mechanism, like when you go through that process where your parents are nothing they do is right, and they're complete idiots, and you know everything.
Right.
And I'm going to throw a $5 phrase out of you because I've been throwing this as Dunning-Kruger effect. You guys heard of this?
No, what is that?
It's when you don't know what you don't know until you know, you know?
Yep.
Pretty much. And this is, you know, the more articulate way of explaining that. But when you're a kid, you have to fend for yourself, and you got to be selfish, and you got to figure things out, and you're completely stupid.
Yeah.
But you have hormones, like Aimee mentioned, and, you know, so you're figuring it out. So
I hate to keep digging into this because I'm only asking because I was really surprised. We were sitting down with a mutual friend, and he was telling me about the John Cabay that he knew, right? And then I realized I've been saying your name wrong for
you should call
years.
me Cabay for like 5 years. It's okay. I never corrected you because I thought it was funny.
You did. Like,
Finally.
like a fucking month ago.
I thought that was a Brownsville thing.
Yeah, that's right. I should have used that. I'm Mexican. It's totally different. But how did that anger manifest? Like, what was it that, you know, not what brought it out, but like, how did you, I guess, how did you show that anger? Like, how did that come out? Were you a fighter? Did you vandalize shit?
No, I had a hard time making friends, believe it or not. I had my social group, right? My small circle of friends, and it's not that I was popular because I played sports and stuff, but I was very insecure, and I had social anxiety and very introverted, but yet I was always out there doing things. So it was an uncomfortable time because I never really felt comfortable in any space except for when I was home in my room, you know, like smoking pot at 12 a.m., you know, which everybody told me not to do for a long time. I'm not saying you should smoke pot, but I'm a stoner. So what can I say? Yeah.
So graduated high school, any college, anything like that? Where'd you go?
I did. I listened to a lot of people, and I went to Arizona State University.
Hey, okay.
Class 96.
Okay. Sun Devil.
Shocker.
Any sports in college?
I didn't play college sports.
Okay.
I had some opportunities to play junior college football, but I'm short, and I was a defensive lineman, so I was kind of like, I don't want to I didn't want to jeopardize my body because I saw those guys, and I was like, these guys are giant.
Yeah.
I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to play, whatever. Anyways, but.
Yeah, Wadis Cooper was on the podcast. He's the owner of Unfair Advantage in Tempe.
Yep.
And he was talking about his college days, getting recruited by Colorado back in the day. And he said he showed up for not even a camp, just show like a visit. You know what I mean? So he shows up for a visit, and he said, I believe it was Michael Westbrook at the time was a receiver for Colorado. Oh, and he said Michael Westbrook was bench pressing 405 pounds as a wide receiver. And Wadis is a skinny 18-year-old kid. Like, I can't do that.
That's the experience I had.
How intimidating is that shit, dude? They
toured me around, like, I think it was Scottsdale Community College, the Artichokes.
The Artichokes.
Go Chokes.
Yeah,
right?
baby.
And I was in the weight room watching this skinny little dude just rep out 405. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, well, shit. I haven't even learned how to use my brain.
Yeah.
I barely know how to use my body.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm maybe just going to focus on using my brain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. So
I'm glad I did, too.
So you graduated ASU.
Still working on that, by the way.
Yeah. No shit. Aren't we all? So graduated ASU. What'd you study?
Business management with an emphasis in recreation and tourism.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's a Bachelor of Science, so I'm full of BS.
Yeah.
Oh, me
yeah,
too. Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great time, great experience, man. I think it was the tail end of when it was still an open campus, so the fraternity houses were partying. There was a bar in the MU for a short time.
What's an MU?
A Memorial Union.
Okay.
It's like a common area for students to hang out in.
Oh, gotcha.
Kind of like the
Downstairs.
cafeteria of a college.
Okay. Gotcha.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember the old houses, the old fraternity houses before they got torn down, and there's.
I remember when they got condemned.
Yeah,
they were
the
like,
campus
we're out.
has changed
Yeah.
tremendously.
They were
Yeah.
dumps. Those houses were dumps. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
They still are.
You have I mean, what do you expect when you have like 50 fucking dudes sitting in a
Yeah.
house just trashing that place
Yeah.
every fucking weekend?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, dudes,
Throwing down.
dudes
Yeah.
are gross.
Yeah.
Dudes are pretty gross. Yeah.
So what? So tell me about after high school. What'd you do after high school?
Well, after high school, you mean after college?
I'm sorry, after
Oh,
college.
okay,
Yeah.
segueing.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep up, man. Just
Yeah.
trying to keep- okay.
You
After
got to keep
college-
him up.
Yeah, I know.
Can I get you a beer?
He's
No,
old.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
okay.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
I know we got the same color hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So after college, I had a little bit of a recreation background, and I played sports and stuff. So I got a job working for the city of Scottsdale, Parks and Recreation Department.
Okay.
I drove the train at the McCormick-Stillman Railroad Park. I was the train conductor.
No
right
shit.
out of college
No
with
kidding.
a degree. You know that place? Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Nice.
Folded lunch boxes for the
I
birthday
fucking
parties.
loved that thing when I was a little kid.
The place is
yeah.
pretty. It's still there. It's legit.
Yeah, it's
You
still
know?
there.
Yeah. So
My buddy has well, I guess she was a young daughter back when like, she had like a birthday party there, and I was like, oh, this place is still fucking here. I remember this place
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's still there.
They have a steam train. They have an electric train. I mean, it's a legit park. But it was a weird experience. So I did that for about 6 months, and I was interesting story. I was getting ready to go on spring break and party with all my friends, and I got a phone call from Cactus Park Recreation Center in North Scottsdale, and they said, "Hey, listen, we don't have anybody to help out with our kids program for the spring. Would you like to help?" And I was a Rec 1 at the time, which is like entry level. I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll help out. I took the chance. I'm like, miss out on the party, whatever. Take a chance. And I worked for a week with them. Loved the experience. Much different than the railroad park, which nothing against those, but they weren't very nice to me. And it wasn't the right time for me for them to be nice to me. And I'm still knucklehead coming out of college. I got all these ideas. They're like, shut up and fold lunch boxes. Like, go drive the train. Do you have the speech memorized? I'm like, yes, I can first day.
You're like 22, 23.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
But anyways, so man, it's just so many good experiences from there. But so I broke down with those people so much, and they said, hey, listen, we need an office manager to open the place Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 or 8 to 3, which is like just under full time. And that's exactly what I wanted at the time because I still was a knucklehead and I wanted free time, and I loved it. And so I did that for about 2 years, and then I interviewed for a Recreation 3 position, which I think was the first full-time position. And interesting story. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. But there was this one lady at the railroad park at the time. She's not there anymore, I'm sure. But she wasn't very nice to me, And I would ask her, "Hey, listen, I folded the lunch boxes. I did the birthday party. I drove the train. I parked it. Is there anything else I can help you with? I have this degree. I'm chomping at the bit." She's like, "Yeah. It takes time. You just go sit in your box and go fold some more lunch boxes." And I remember the first time I got invited to the manager's meeting because when I newly promoted, and I saw her there sitting in the front row. God, I sat right next to her. I didn't say anything. I just kind of sat there. She looked over at me. "Hey, how's it going?" "Oh, pretty good. Nice to see you again." That was really nice, really kind, friendly. Yeah. But I know, and secretly it irked her because I think at the time she told me something about like, oh yeah, that's what she said. She said, "Listen, kid, I've been working for the city for 25 years. We've been doing things a certain way for a long time. Just take your time.
Okay.
It's going to be a while."
Yeah.
And then about a year later, I was sitting next to her.
Wow.
I should have stuck with that job because had I done that, I would have retired with pension at like 43.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you ever secretly have like any ambition to like promote up just so you could fire her?
Probably a little.
I
bit,
fantasize about shit like that. Like my landlord, our landlord at the current location that we have is so bad. Like I fantasize about buying the building just so I can fire him.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like I want
the property manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I freaking hate him, dude. He is the owner of the building's cool, like she's cool, but the property management group, fucking terrible.
Terrible.
They're terrible. I mean, they have their good and their bad, right? They're bad like from jump, like, trying to get anything done, trying to get any kind of tenant improvement done,
False promises,
all that stuff, and then but once you're like settled, they disappear. All you do is pay your bills. You never hear or see them. I mean, it's cool, but anyway. So sorry to interrupt you.
No. Listen, I learn as much about you guys when I'm here doing this thing. It was just part of the process.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit because you got into the cannabis industry. I'm assuming pretty early in your career.
2009.
Okay, so it's been a minute. Yeah. So I mean, there was a little bit of gap between the city job and that industry.
Yeah. So I did a bunch of shit. What did I do in between there? I sold health insurance. That's what I really settled in. And I made a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
Wasn't super happy. Nothing against health insurance agents and anybody in that business. Great business. You make tons of money.
Yeah.
But I wanted always to find something that I truly enjoyed doing, and I think it's rare. It really is. It's luck. If you're lucky, honestly, if you can fall into that situation, and maybe not fall is not the right word because I think you really truly earn it. Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate to be where I am now at almost 50 years old. Yeah. But it's not by accident because I made a lot of mistakes and I did a lot of different things. Yeah. To figure out what I wanted to do. Yeah. And when I fell into jiu-jitsu, I had no idea that this would turn into this. Yeah. Yeah. Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's also really difficult to take a leap, even when you're jumping from job to job. Forget about finding something that you love and you're like going all in. When you're going from working for the city and you're staring a good pension, right? And good benefits and all that other stuff.
And there's a lot of great people. I had some really amazing people. Shout out to Mark Lesko. I know he's probably never going to hear this, but he was the best boss I've ever had in my life. Wow. He was a guy in a wheelchair, but I didn't know he was in a wheelchair for like the first 10 minutes after I met him. Like I didn't even think about it. He was just that charismatic, energetic. I was like, oh, fucking A, that guy's in a wheelchair. Wow. And a lot of really good people in the city. Yeah. But have you ever watched that show, Parks and Recreation?
I saw a couple episodes.
So it's awesome. You need to watch it.
It's very accurate.
Yeah.
It's a series of it's a bunch of unique personalities and very interesting people that don't really do a lot. Yeah. And then there's one person who does everything. Yeah. In every segment. Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, that's cool. So how did you get into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, so after selling insurance for a while and making a decent living, I realized that I hated my life. And I told my wife at the time, I said, listen, I just can't do this anymore. I'm going to drop out of society and figure something out. So I started working at this bar in Tempe, Sail Inn. Shout out to Gina Lombardo, who now owns Cactus Jack's in Tempe, another place. Amazing human being, still live music venue here in town. But I did that for about a year, and my friend Gabe Gaston, who got me into jiu-jitsu, coincidentally, opened a dispensary in Colorado, and he called me up one day and he said, hey, man, would you be interested in helping me sell pot in Colorado legally? Well, shit, I'm working in a bar right now. Like, maybe that sounds pretty cool. So, I picked up my wife at the time, and she was open. She had started a music business, and Colorado's a bustling music place, and so we moved to Colorado. And end of 2009.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that like going into a business that, I mean, I'm always curious to find out about, statewide it's legal, federally it's not. How do they move money? How does that work?
So when we started, the only thing that was keeping marijuana sales legal in Colorado was Amendment 20. And it basically just said you could sell pot, and there was very little rules, and you had to pay your taxes. Mm-hmm. Literally, we could have somebody come in with good quality cannabis in a backpack, and we could give them cash and put it on the shelf as long as we paid our taxes.
But there's no credit, right? Couldn't run like credit cards or debit cards or anything like that?
No, cash business. It's still a problem today. I mean, there's ways around it, but that's a huge hole in the industry is the banking. It really comes down to changing the schedule from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Which is another story.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, like, I probably, I don't know if I want to say that. I want to ask this question, but like, how much cash is laying around?
Lots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too much.
There was an issue with
Let
that.
me ask you
right?
this. Is it worth the prison term? Is it that much money? I'm going to take that as a yes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if I can get out in 20
I'm
years.
able to
you know?
start a jiu-jitsu academy partially because of being in the marijuana
Wow,
business.
okay.
And I wouldn't have this ability if I hadn't done this. So,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
And the DEA is not like going after.
It felt like we were going to get raided every day, every minute for the first 4 years.
Really?
Like I thought that somebody's going to come running in at
Why,
any
why
moment.
is that? Why
Just
is that?
Because, I mean, I've been looking over my shoulder my whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Get caught in school, you know, and kids stay away from pot till you're like 18.
Yeah.
saying.
That's good.
Don't do what I did.
Probably 25.
Maybe
25.
25.
25 would be better.
Yeah, frontal
25.
lobe type stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development needs to happen.
There's a lot of living left to do at 25 plus, man. There's like so much life left. You know what I mean?
Still for us.
You're already an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
Don't make
Yes.
it worse.
I mean, with our potential level of income in modern science, there's no reason we can't live to, what is that?
128.
225 maybe?
Really old.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh shit, man. Yeah. So, yeah. Now this is just my curiosity. So you started off at So I'm looking at modern dispensaries, right? And they're very much. I mean, it's like a retail shop now.
It's
No
like
big
an Apple
deal.
store.
Yeah. What did it look like back then, though?
We had such a cool spot. It was called the Sweet Leaf Compassion Center, and it was named after Sweet Leaf, Black Sabbath, which is kind of cool. Anyways, but we had a really nice place, a beautiful spot. We had a yoga room in the back. It was really just kind of a, it had a front entry area that people would come in. We had bulletproof glass and a security door because back then there was no rules, and so occasionally, sketchball would come in. There was when I first started in Colorado, the Russian mafia was kind of a little bit in the marijuana business.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting. So every once in a while, a guy would come in and be like, "I want to come in and see your medicine." I'd be like, "Okay, cool, man. You got a card?" "No, I don't have no card. It's okay. Open the door." No, dude. His neck's like this big around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways.
Was it tracksuit cigarette type stuff? Like very, very like. I'm just asking. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, they were trying to I think they were trying to blend in.
With the thickest Russian accent.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. You don't have a card, you're not coming in.
This is
Yeah.
Boulder, Colorado.
But at this point, it was just medicinal, right?
Yes, it was only medicinal.
Okay. Okay. So tell me about that, because you and I had a conversation. This is years ago. You and I had a conversation, but you were talking about like you almost felt like a consultant at that point, right? People coming in with certain ailments, and you're like, oh, maybe this or that would help. What was that like? Like actually helping people?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to truly have, a skeptical, baby boomer aged woman come into the shop and kind of at her last leg, and her doctor said, maybe try this because you're addicted to pain pills and I don't know what else to do. And here's your script. And, you give her good advice, and, good advice is very, very small amount, less than you think you need, so that she goes home and has a good experience. Because, everybody has too much of a pot brownie. It's not fun. You're scraping spiders off your shoulder that don't exist. And
You're calling your mom in the middle of the night because I'm
having a heart
You have a
attack.
seizure.
right after you ordered a pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about that at lunch today. It was like that edible high is different.
It's different.
It's
Very
different. You can
yeah.
walk off that you're smoking on your vape a little too much, or you take a too much of a joint or a bong, take a big bong rip.
Yeah.
Walk it off. Edible.
No, you're
There's no
stuck with
walking
that
around.
for a while.
Yeah.
You're stuck with that for
Have
a
a
while.
seat, pal.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
But if you
Let's
get
go
it
take a
dialed
nap.
in,
Yeah.
it's you find that sweet spot for somebody, and then it's very rewarding. You know, when they come back to you after the skepticism, a few months later, and they're like, man, I'm still taking some pills, but much less of the pills that I'm taking, and I have a quality of life that I didn't think existed. And I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's why it's real. And it's not just about the psychoactive components in marijuana. I mean, there's all these cannabinoids that are now getting more mainstream. I mean, THC everybody knows about, but there's CBG, CBN, THCA. All these non-psychoactive things that work, for other ailments. So, anyways.
But the pain relief aspect of it, like I had knee surgery. We talked about too, like a year and a half ago. Dude, the oxycodone does not do what marijuana did.
No.
Like I was like, it's so weird. Like I was talking to Maria Academia, because her daughter had to get ACL surgery. I'm like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but honestly, like she's gonna be in a ton of pain after the surgery, and marijuana helped a fucking lot.
Yeah.
Because like the oxycodone like kind of takes the edge off a little bit, but fucking weed just makes it so tolerable.
Yeah.
It like it was like because I remember sitting there and like just like not wanting to move, just being in and it was like constant pain.
Yeah.
It wasn't like where you get in pain and then like it just kind of like fades off. It was just like constant pain, and like the oxycodone helped a little bit, but like just get a little high. And you're just like, I can tolerate this now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I swear by it. I tell everyone, I'm like, dude,
It works.
Everyone who gets surgery, I'm like, get a vape, get something, get something.
It can fill in the same receptor like an opioid will, but it can also if you don't find that sweet spot, if you go too far down the wormhole, you can fixate on it. And
Yeah.
kind of like, you know what I mean? If you ever found that, that's what
I've never had that issue with weed, so maybe I'm a little different. Yeah, because
high tolerance.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Choir director. Nice.
Cheers.
But so Mrs. Jones, who has no tolerance, you got to give her the small amount. So she
Yeah.
goes home and has a really good experience, and then hopefully comes back and gets off the pills and the pharmaceutical goop. This is no good for anybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How long was it from the time that it went medicinally acceptable to recreational in Colorado? Well, how many years was that?
let's see.
It wasn't that many.
No, it wasn't. I think it was 2012 when it went recreational in Colorado. It was only a couple years.
Yeah.
2012, 2014. My memory is a little foggy about that.
Surprise.
So here's another
It has
interesting
nothing
thing
to
about,
do with the cannabis.
Here's another. So the marijuana business. This was interesting. So there's a trust thing when it comes to business, right?
Yeah.
You want to trust people.
Yeah.
In the old school marijuana trade, you would get together with new people and you would smoke as much weed as you possibly could, and then you would talk business.
Yeah.
And the first 6 months in Colorado, I'm like, the people are like throwing numbers at me, and I'm like, I'm trying to like, hold on, like I'm from Arizona, man. Like, what did we just smoke?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Didn't I tell you I went to ASU?
I barely have an education.
But amazing experience, amazing time.
Yeah. Yeah. So in that transition, you go from medicinal to recreational, right?
Yeah.
What did that do to business? Because I mean, it had to be like an odd thing where one day you're helping people, like literally helping people. The next day it looks like a Fish concert let out and the lines around the corner, right?
Well, it was.
I'm just
of both. It
thinking.
was a little bit of both. You know, most states separated it, so they had a medical side and a recreational side.
Okay.
So the medical patients that you had formed relationships with could still have their thing.
Yeah.
And the recreational was a little bit different, and they had their thing. So they didn't kind of merge. Now it's a little bit more together because it's a little bit further down the road.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But man, it's come a long way.
Is that different in Colorado versus Arizona as far as like how do they split the two there and not here?
Every state's a little different
Okay.
in how they do it, but they're all pretty similar. I mean, California started the legal medical thing and the recreational medical thing. Colorado took the ball and ran with it, and really kind of evolved it. And everybody else who's fallen in line has kind of used Colorado's model to build their own model. And it's still, there's a lot of kinks in it. That's kind of why I'm not in there anymore.
What was the selling point for Colorado to say, okay, this is going to make a lot of tax revenue for the state and we're going to use it towards whatever? What was that whatever that they sold that on? Because there's no way they're just going to say, hey, let's just sell marijuana. We can tax it. You know, and there has to be a sell, like the lottery.
Revenue for schools and roads and infrastructure and things like that.
Oh, it was that general? They didn't go like one specific thing?
I think Arizona is focused on education, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona.
How's that working out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just dropped our tax.
We are
flat rate of 2.5%.
We are 46th behind Mississippi. Watch out, Mississippi. We're coming. We got your number. Holy shit, man.
Watch out, y'all.
Yeah, I think we made
Who did I offend?
stupider.
Who did I offend?
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so all right, so you're in the marijuana industry, the cannabis industry, and then how did you find jiu-jitsu? Like you said, your friend from Arizona.
Yeah, my
got
friend
you into it.
Gabe Gaston, who was at the time a brown belt under Megaton. Actually, when I met Gabe, he was still purple belt. He just won purple belt pans, I think Master 1 or 2. Anyways, and I'm like, man, what is this? And he's super skinny dude, like look kind of like a really frail guy that you could just blow over.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. As we all know.
Right.
And he brought me to Megatons a couple times in Arizona, and I just got the shit kicked out of me. I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I'd kind of found jiu-jitsu in my 20s earlier, but it was the wrong time for me, and this time worked out a lot better. Yeah, shout out to Megaton. Great academy, still around.
Yeah.
Right.
You mean Megatron?
Yeah, that's what my daughter called him. Yeah.
Has he still done every adult worlds?
I don't know that it's done every adult, but he's
pretty close.
Got to be pretty close, yeah.
And I'll say one thing about the jiu-jitsu community, and you guys know this, but it's so tight-knit. Like, he still remembers me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
From when I was that fat old dude who came into the academy, like for 6 months.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But anyways, so I forget what the original question was, but
finding jiu-jitsu, your buddy from Arizona.
Oh, my buddy from Arizona. Okay, so finding jiu-jitsu. So trained for 6 months in Megatons, got in a bicycle accident, road rash, couldn't train, stopped training, moved to Colorado. We had a yoga room in the back, and after work we would just close up, count the money, put it in the safe, smoke, and roll. And Gabe would invite all these really high-level guys, purple belts and people from Colorado. So my first few years, almost 2.5 years of jiu-jitsu, 2 years of jiu-jitsu was just like a club level. And I was very fortunate for that. And I knew nothing. I was just like I was an athlete though. So I wrestled in high school. But John Cordera, purple belt at the time, and he's a black belt under Gustavo now.
Okay.
In Colorado, who lived there for a long time, and he's helped me a lot. In my jiu-jitsu, he said, dude, you're already big, man. You already know how to wrestle. You know how to be on top. Stop being on top, dude. Play guard. Play guard for the next 6 months. It's going to suck. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know anything else.
Truer words have never been spoken.
So far, nobody's in jiu-jitsu is pretty honest. Everybody's told me the right advice.
How come no one ever comes to the small guy and it's like, hey, play on top?
Because you don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
You're like,
out.
yeah, no shit.
Why didn't I think of that?
Just stand up.
It's like playing basketball with a guy that's jumping over you to dunk it and be like, oh, I
Balls
should
in
have
your
thought
face,
about that.
balls in your face,
So John told me to play guard, man, and it sucked for 6 months. I had road gi burn and fucking just bruises everywhere and just getting passed and smashed. But I, was figuring it out. And at the end of that 6 months, I had a little bit of an understanding of what that guard meant, and I've been kind of seeking that ever since. Still searching for it.
Yeah. What's been your inspiration for jiu-jitsu? Like, is there a certain person that you kind of follow that like you kind of model your game after?
Right here.
Model your life after?
Besides Tojo.
Besides, of course, aside from Tojo.
That's the given, the
Right,
obvious.
right.
But another obvious, Hodger.
Hodger, yeah.
Hodger.
Did you find him pretty early and kind of model him, or is it something you found a little bit later?
So there's another guy, shout out to Larry King, who I think is in Seattle now. He has an academy in Seattle. I was a white belt, and I was at Easton, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Colorado, and he was teaching class one day, and he totally smashed me without really using any kind of energy. He just kind of fluidly just floated on top of me, and he felt like a 500-pound mattress.
Wow.
I couldn't move, and I'm like, what is happening? And he just submitted me effortlessly with a smile on his face. And that's where I got that like waterbed pressure analogy, was from Larry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I've never
Sounds
felt
like
any-
magic.
Yeah.
It feels like magic.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to pretend like I'm a waterbed, man. I'm filling in the gaps.
Yeah. Alex and I were talking about that. It's
Yeah.
like being heavy. I mean, you can be heavy, but like applying heaviness or pressure is like a technique.
Pressure's
Being
different.
heavy is a technique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's why you
And
can have like a
be
tiny
heavy
girl.
and be as small as Tojo.
Yeah,
Well, that's
you
what I was
can.
saying.
No
Like, you
offense.
can have a small girl,
But
like
dude.
make herself feel like she weighs 300 pounds.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, Samir Chantre, when he rolls with me, he is the heaviest human being.
Yeah.
Like he might have been, the last time we rolled, he might have been 140 pounds.
Yeah.
Because he was getting ready for something in Russia or something like that. Like he was getting ready for a big one, and he was cutting weight like crazy. So he was really small.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. Yeah.
Crazy when you feel it, and you can't explain it to somebody. You have to feel it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You can. You see, like I said, my friend Gabe. He's and still to this day, love you, Gabe. I've never submitted him, but
Wow.
he quit jiu-jitsu because he made tons of money in the marijuana business and retired and just kind of did his thing. And
Yeah,
whatever.
that's cool. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But man, that guy, 125-pound Gabe, and I'm 265 pounds when I started.
Wow. That's fat, bro.
Has submitted.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I started to be less fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. How much did you weigh when you started?
238 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're 180 now?
Yeah. 180 this morning.
Yeah.
180.0
Fuck, man.
this morning. Yeah.
I was 200 pounds when I started.
I know. Yeah, both of you guys.
Yeah, wild, man.
150 pounds.
I
now.
love those old pictures.
Yeah.
That Dan tournament picture with you is like cracks me up every time.
Oh my god,
With your
Yeah.
short hair.
Yeah.
You're a different person.
completely.
That's
Yeah,
who's that
wow.
bitch?
At what point when you were doing jiu-jitsu did you think like, okay, I'm gonna like immerse myself in this? Because you don't get, I mean, I'm not trying to blow smoke, but you don't get as good as you are without immersing yourself in it.
Man, I fell in love pretty early.
Yeah.
And, you know, I knew pretty early on that this was something I was going to do forever, man.
Yeah.
Because I have a short attention span for things, and I've tried a lot of hard things, man. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of addictive personality, so I'm seeking that, you know. So I race mountain bikes, and I
Yeah.
jumped out airplanes and scuba diving, and you know, all that stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
Rock climbing, another good, you know, probably the closest thing to jiu-jitsu. But
Rock climbing?
yeah,
Okay.
for me,
How so?
being in the moment. Like, you can't
Yeah.
think about anything else except for what's directly in front of you,
Gotcha.
at least for that period of time. And so it's almost meditative in a
Yeah.
way. You have to kind of find that flow state where you're not really thinking, you're just reacting because you can't think. Because I'm going to plummet to my death.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Jiu-jitsu has that with less of that death aspect.
Yeah.
let me know if you agree with this.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people think of like, especially like rock climbing, I think is a really good analog for jiu-jitsu. A lot of people, I think we've talked about that, where I used to like rock climb. That like used to be my thing. Like jiu-jitsu was kind of the back end thing. But the cool thing about rock climbing is like what you would expect to be like that adrenaline junkie type thing where you're like looking for the rush. It's like actually the cool part of rock climbing is when you can shut that out.
Yeah.
And that's how jiu-jitsu is too. It's like, it's really cool when like you should be fucking freaking out. Like someone's on your back, like, you know, Milton was talking about that in the seminar. It's like, don't fucking freak out. Just be
Yeah.
comfortable with someone like trying to choke you.
Take
Yeah.
a breath through your nose.
Right.
Think it through.
Exactly. But like, that's the cool part is like when you get into the position in jiu-jitsu or in rock climbing where you're like, I should be fucking scared and I should be freaking out right now. But I'm like, nah, I'm not going to get through this if I do that.
Yeah.
So you like learn to like control that. I thought that was the coolest part about rock climbing and jiu-jitsu, where you like learn to be comfortable in positions where the normal person is having a panic attack.
Freaking out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 All right, stand by, guys.
Yep.
You guys keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't need Alex.
So I had
Move this
did I tell you about the scare I had rock climbing, which switched me from rock climbing to jiu-jitsu?
I don't think so.
So I'm climbing on Camelback. There's a route behind the Monk
Uh-huh.
called Beehive.
Yep.
Right?
I'm yeah. Oh yeah.
I wasn't on Beehive, but I'm next to it on this a 2-pitch climb, and you know, we had it top roped and we're doing our thing, and these two dudes come walking up next to us. Hey guys, you know, what are you guys doing? Hey, nice to meet you. You know how climbers are. It's like this community. Right?
Yep.
And we're like, hey, nice to meet you guys. And the dude's like, yeah, it's my buddy's first time out climbing outside the gym. You know, I'm taking him up to the next row. Oh, we got his top rope. Do you guys want to hop in with us if he's new? No, it's all good. You know, we're good. And they went right next to us to Beehive.
Yep.
Right? And so, I don't know, 30 minutes later, we hear fucking screaming.
Yep.
And we look over, and we're the closest guys to him. And one dude, so the more experienced climber was being belayed, and he was halfway up the second pitch.
Yeah.
Right? The less experienced climber was belaying on the second pitch. And we see them like freaking out and waving their hands and like, climbers on the wall, you need help, you know, and fucking they do, obviously.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, the guy who's being belayed, the more experienced climber, unclipped, turned around, and basically, I've never seen anything like it. Australian rappelled down, kind of like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
you know, with no rope. Skidded, scraped himself up. That guy survived.
Wow.
He bounced a little bit and he came down.
Without a rope, he like untied himself.
Yeah, he untied himself and turned around, faced the rock, and like scraped down it. It was
Yeah.
the craziest
Cheese
thing
grater
I've ever
down.
seen.
Yeah.
Cheese grater down.
Yeah.
He lived. He survived. The guy who was belaying unclipped and just jumped. And so he
Oh,
fell like about
shit.
60 feet and bounced. And then we got to him. He's covered in bees, and we're like swatting him with our
Yep.
shirts and shit. And he lived for about like
That's the name.
45 minutes.
Beehive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know. So after that, I tried climbing.
Well, wait, he died
Yeah, he died.
on site.
Yeah, it was 45 minutes after he landed. But
Whoa.
when the helicopter finally came in and landed, and they got to him, they're like, "Yeah, this dude's covered."
When was this?
Done. It was in shit. It was a long time ago. So before I went to Colorado, so maybe like
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on the news. I mean, it's a it's a thing.
People don't
so.
realize that like most of the deaths that happen on Camelback are bee related. Like there are Africanized bees on that mountain, which like basically either like will attack someone to the point where like, you know, they like if they have anaphylactic shock, all that kind of shit. But a lot of people will fall off cliffs just trying to get away from bees, like because they freak out and they run, and that happens almost every year.
The guy who lived, the guy who Australian repelled and cheese grater down, he's sitting at the bottom of the route under the monk, but he still has to go down head wall.
Yeah.
Right? He's sitting there. We're dumping water on him. We're hitting him with our shirts and shit.
Yeah.
He's covered in bees. He's like, I think I'm allergic to bees.
What?
Dude, you need to go, dude. You got to fucking go down. So he got down and he lived, but it's a crazy experience.
Anybody who's seen the praying monk on Camelback, it's like on a ledge that is approached by another like semi-technical climb. It's like kind of like a water wash runnel kind of thing.
It's called head wall, is that right? Or something like that?
I mean, it is the head wall is like that area. There's a couple of climbs, but there's like the easy approach that's like, I don't know, 5'7", 5'8". If
you still need a rope, though. I mean,
generally. I always ran up it without a rope.
Not all of us are ninjas.
I did.
Right.
We used to go do the monk in the middle of the night. Like we used to jump the fence and run up there with our headlights and do the monk and come back down. Like the monk is just, it's a lot of fun. I've done the monk in the fucking rain with lightning storms.
You can see the monk from pretty much everywhere in the valley.
Yeah, it looks like it's like this feature on the nose of Camelback. Yeah. And it's just like, it looks like a monk like on his knees praying.
Praying monk.
Wow.
Praying monk. And it's really cool. It's a relatively easy climb for most people. You just get into the top, you rappel off the back of it. It's like a cool, easy,
it's
like,
a good experience,
outing.
good entry level.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You could pretty much take anybody up it. And it's a cool experience. But yeah, not with the bees.
Yeah. Well, and much like jiu-jitsu, you don't get into climbing without like someone getting you in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just go out and climb.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
something like that. Yeah, it's better to have a mentor. I think jiu-jitsu is a little easier to jump in because you got. Well, I mean, you have a school, right? I mean, there's always like a black belt, which is kind of like having a mentor in rock climbing. But yeah, you definitely need a mentor. Bad things happen when you don't have mentorship in rock climbing. That's how people fall and die,
or anything in life.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, we need help, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had some mentors, not just in jiu-jitsu, but in life.
Yeah.
You guys are my mentors.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't know about me so much.
Good freaking luck with that.
I looked at you last, but that doesn't have any significance on the order. I'm just saying.
I'm just a lowly purple belt over here hanging out with legends.
It's humility.
Yeah, man. When did you get your blue belt?
I got my blue belt almost 3 years after I started, so like 2012, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Right before 2012, from Ethan Day.
Yeah. So, and who did you get your blue belt under?
Ethan Day.
Ethan Day. Sorry, you said that.
He's a Hanato Tavares black belt.
Okay. And were you competing a lot at that point, or was that something that you just did like on the side kind of thing?
A little bit. I had no intention of competing again. I started to be less fat. I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. I'm old, 36, you know, whatever.
Hey, I'm 36.
You're old.
Yeah, you're old.
But I was like, you kind of want to figure out if this really works. Is this real? I mean, I'll test it out. And your coaches inspire you and encourage you, and people around you you're competing, so you're like, oh, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
And my first competition didn't go well because
they never
do.
They never do. I was I was still ultra heavyweight then too.
I won my first competition.
That's right.
My very first one.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
I was like, anybody who wins their first tournament, they're at a disadvantage. Fuck those guys.
Oh, I assure you, I got my ass handed to me severely in the very second match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant you won your first match. I thought you meant like you took gold your first tournament.
Oh, no. No, I won my very...
No, that's fine.
Backing
that's fine.
way up there.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's
nice recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, Aimee.
So when we started, when Aimee and I started jiu-jitsu here in Arizona, there was already a, I don't think it was an AZBJJL at the time, but there was already like a string of local tournaments that we could do. It wasn't very many. It was maybe 4 a year, maybe 3 a year, 4 a year. Anyway, was there a scene like that in Colorado, like local tournaments that you could do, or was it like still the Nagas and the other stuff that had to come to town, or was it something that you could do whenever?
Huge scene in Colorado, started by Seth Daniels, who runs Fight to Win.
Okay.
Pro.
Who? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Everybody heard of that guy.
Everybody knows Seth.
I say this all the time, and I've told Seth this many times. People think I'm way cooler because of Fight to Win Pro. You know what I mean? Seriously, like it's this ridiculously amazing promotion. This guy created out of nothing, out of a necessity, out of a lack of something the jiu-jitsu community needed.
Oh, I got a funny story for you.
A lot of people have benefited from it.
I was at the dog park the other day, and some guy, like, I was wearing a jiu-jitsu shirt, and he's like, oh, yeah, like an Aries shirt, and he's like, oh, you train at Aries? It's like, this guy, like, trained, like, maybe, like, twice, but his, like, roommate, like, Ted trained or something like that. And he's like, do you know this guy? He's like, he's got this great beard. He's got this school up, and I was like, John Cabay? He's like, yeah, Greywolf, right? Yeah, I was like, yeah. And he was like, he knew who you were from Fight to Win.
Oh my god!
Like you're just saying.
That is
what I'm saying.
hilarious.
He never trained at your school, but he knew you because his buddy took him to like showed him like an event or whatever, and he saw you just like, you know, because everyone knows John's fucking killed it at Fight to Win, right? And he was just like, I know this guy, and I was like, yeah, John's awesome. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
It's an amazing thing, and Seth, you know, I really do thank him so much for doing what he did and still doing what he did. Now he's doing ADCC and he's the best production guy in the fucking business.
Good for him. Yeah.
You know, he earned it though.
Yeah.
He earned it.
What's going on with ADCC and Flow and Fight to Win and
Seth
WNO?
Flow, I think,
what the hell's going on with all that?
deal.
Well, so there's a couple things going on. So what's his name? Gordon Ryan signed with Flow for 4 fights.
Who was that?
He's this guy. He's okay at jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Right
Yeah.
on.
Best in the world at no-gi jiu-jitsu. But he
YouTuber
signed for
idiots.
4 or 5 fights or something like that for Flow.
Okay.
So he signed like a 7-figure contract
With Flow.
Wow. And Fight to Win just announced that so Seth Daniels just basically announced that they are leaving Flow to go to Fight Sports.
Fight something.
Yeah.
Fight,
I'm gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, I can't remember what the but it's like
a different organization.
A different organization. Okay. I think it's what Third Coast Grappling went to. Okay. A couple other like organizations went to. So it's kind of like the competitor to Flow, but like Flow's always had like who's number one in Fight to Win, and it's like that's the draw, right?
Yeah.
And all of the IBJJF stuff is you know shown on Flow. So I mean, you know, we don't know how these cards are going to play out, but you know, who knows? But now people need 2 different like memberships. They need Flow and then need the Fight Pass or whatever the hell it's called.
The UFC Fight Pass?
It's not Fight Pass, but it's something like that. It's a smaller promotion, but not anymore because Seth's involved, so it's gonna be
bigger.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Is it not Fight Pass?
Maybe it is. I don't know. Don't quote me.
I can't remember. It's something like that. It's another one of those. I think they might.
Maybe it's a subsidiary of UFC Fight
Yeah,
Pass.
maybe. I don't know. I mean, they got fucking slap fighting now.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
What was your first experience like?
Waiting to happen.
What's that?
This slap fighting is just brain injuries waiting
it's not
to happen.
brain injuries waiting to happen. It's brain injuries guaranteed.
Yeah.
Happening live on television.
That's wild, dude. Yeah. Have you seen people's faces?
Yeah, they're getting permanently disfigured.
Oh, yeah. Like, fuck the face injuries. It's like it's brain trauma every time.
You've got one brain, guys.
Yeah.
You want to keep it as intact.
And didn't we start jiu-jitsu to learn self-defense? Right. Does it stand there and smack me?
Yeah.
It's like literally no defense.
Zero defense.
Yeah. It's like get a strong neck. Like what's the defense?
There's I'm gonna work my face muscles.
Yeah.
Or develop a woodpecker-like tongue that you can wrap around your brain.
Yeah.
So that you can.
Working on that.
That's high level.
That's high level.
I've been working on that one. I've been working on that. Milton kind of gave a little secret on that.
He did give a secret today in the seminar.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
Yeah.
Secret sauce.
He said, wrap your tongue around your brain.
Yeah, just like a woodpecker. It's perfect. It's perfect.
So you've known Seth since Colorado.
Yes.
Okay. So
since blue belt.
Okay. So him
for me, he was the higher level.
Gotcha. So him connecting you or you guys connecting so that you could do Fight to Wins was kind of like I know this guy from Colorado. Let's get him on. Is that how that happened, or did you reach out to him? How did that work out?
Paul had a lot to do with it, honestly. Okay. So I'd gone to Master Worlds as a purple belt.
Yep.
My first Master Worlds, and I lost in the first round.
Yep. Same here.
Pissed, made a mistake. I was up 4-2. Took the back, didn't get my grips, and slipped off the top. Never recovered. I was so pissed.
Yeah. That's
anyways, I'm sitting in the stands stewing, and I get a text from Seth. Hey, you want to do Fight to Win in Arizona?
No way.
Yeah. I'm sitting in the stands, and Paul said maybe you'd be interested. Fuck yeah, I'm interested. Like, let's go. And, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Your first one was purple belt?
Purple.
Really?
Yeah.
I only remember you competing at black belt. That's fucking weird. So I guess I've known you for.
It happened to me very similar. It was a very similar situation with me. Yeah. So I did Nogi Worlds. gosh, it was like pandemic-ish. Had to be around there because that's when I got my I got my black belt in 2019, so it had to be 2019 sometime. So so I lost in the second round at Nogi Worlds, and I'm like, F this, like I'm gonna shut it down, dude. Like I'm not doing. It was like December or something like that, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Maybe until like February, and this is me like sitting at the Airbnb. It's me, Nava, someone else was in the room. We're having a pizza, drinking beer, and I'm like, I'm ready to shut it down. My phone buzzes. Alex Martinez versus Doug Moore at 170 pounds, and I look at the pizza. I'm like, yeah, why not? So I accepted right there.
Did you eat another piece of pizza?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Starting tomorrow.
But that's pretty much how it happened. Like I was at a point where I was like, man, F this. Like I was just tired. You know what I mean? I was just tired, and I was just like, I was frustrated because I lost that second match, and it wasn't a good loss. It was a tough loss.
Yeah.
And it was one of those deals where like maybe I just have to rethink things. And thank God Seth reached out because that didn't give me the opportunity to sit there and stew. I was right back on it. Yeah. So that was cool.
Because you know how it is when you train so hard for a big competition like Master Worlds and you go out in the first round.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I trained so hard and I 3 minutes I didn't get submitted, so 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
But
still,
5 minutes for so many hours of training.
Hours and hours
but
and hours
you know,
of training.
that's why we do it, though.
Yeah. There's a documentary, I think it's Netflix or Amazon, one of the two, that talks about, it's called like The Weight of Gold or something like that. Like it's something along those lines. And it talks about people competing at the highest level and dedicating their lives to it, right? Maybe even dedicating like a whole year to this one event, and then it doesn't go their way, or even if it does, there's a depression that happens afterwards. Like a deep depression. Like Michael Phelps was very candid about his depression after the Olympics. The guy's wearing like 9 gold medals, and he's ready to do something drastic because he's so depressed. Pretty wild, man. So and I think it happens at every level. If you dedicate your life or your time or you sacrifice so much, to do one thing and it doesn't work out, that's got to be depressing.
It's super depressing. But ultimately, what we have to remind ourselves this, because we tell our students this every day, the outcome is insignificant.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's important is the experience and the growth that comes from it.
Yeah.
But fuck when losing.
Yeah, I hate losing. I hate losing.
And I'm really glad you said that because you just said it wasn't a good loss.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to talk more about that.
Well, a good loss is like my A game versus their A game, and I just come up short. It's happened. I love it. I don't mind that at all. Some of my favorite matches have been losses. Mm-hmm. I can name 2 matches that are my favorite Master Worlds, purple belt. Yeah. So, I lost in the second round, first round. So, it was 2-2. And no, 2-0. 2-0, I had one advantage. And we went at it. I mean, it was just back and forth. And I remember somebody yelled 10 seconds. And I was like, all right, let's see if this bastard can wrestle. And I shot in, and he could wrestle.
It turns out he could wrestle.
So I shot in. I was so close to getting the takedown. It didn't happen. Time ran out. That's a good loss. That's a good loss. I'll take that one every single day.
Yeah.
I still
leave it all on the mat.
Yeah. I had nothing left. Yeah. I had nothing left. I poured my heart into it. It was a good match. But a bad loss is, we tied up. He did a little foot sweep, and my leg buckled, and I was like, whoa, that was weird. You know what I mean? Because it was perfect. And then he felt, I could feel his confidence level rising, right? So I'm circling. He shoots in, takes me down. And then he disengages, and I'm like, shit, he's playing the game.
This Master Worlds this year.
No, this was Nogi Worlds at Black Belt.
Oh well, I'm imagining Master Worlds this year with your loss. You were like in close guard, and you're like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
Yeah, but that's playing to the rule set. I'll give him that one. But this one
you're
was
not happy about it.
I know, but this one was like, I had to go after him, and all he did was play the edges, which is brilliant. It's brilliant. There was no engagement. There was game. Yes, there was no.
The game is to win.
Yep,
you gotta play the game.
But my issue is all with myself. It's not anything that he did. He played towards the rule set. He was looking to the next round. He scores 2. I got to go to him. I let him score 2. I allowed him to score 2. I settled into a position where I was okay. Let's see what he's doing, right? And when you do that, you're letting them set it up, right? He set up a beautiful takedown. He executed the takedown almost perfectly, and then it was all catch up from there. And I could not get him to engage because he didn't have to.
Yeah.
He would do just enough, back out. Just enough, back out. No penalties. Good on him, man. But it was a bad loss because I allowed that first 2 points to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good question and good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
tell
guys
me.
must be close, right? You guys are really.
So
I don't know.
tell me about tell me about a tough loss that you had. A good loss that you had. Like one that you're like, God, that was no regrets. And it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. It could be anything.
A good loss.
Yeah.
Here's a good loss. So I just come off, let's see, I brown belt Master Worlds, World Championship, and I did the Masters Cup, right? And we're at a bar celebrating the Masters Cup, drinking. I have tequila in my hand. It's my second one, right?
Yeah.
And I did good the Masters Cup. I double golded
Nice.
at Brown.
No big deal.
And Paul goes, hey, man, do you want to fight a super fight tomorrow?
Into your second tequila.
I'm like, yeah, man, I got a tequila in me. He's like, yeah, but you're fine, dude. You got it, right? Weight's good. I just ate a whole pizza that day because
Because you can.
because
Yeah,
because
because you
I
can.
just and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. I won't drink anymore. Had no idea. Showed up the next day. Didn't even know who the guy was. Whatever. It's Kenan Duarte.
Who?
Yeah, who?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Kenan.
Never heard of her. Just kidding.
And it was like an Abu Dhabi kind of like a Phoenix super
Okay.
fight thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh, I
super-
remember that.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a super match.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
super fight, whatever.
Yeah.
So
They had a bunch
and
of
there was a
them.
lot of us. It was
Yeah.
Aaron Wilson was in it.
I was on that
Josh
card.
Rodriguez, you were on the card. John
2
Gordy.
weight classes above my weight class.
Paul got you in it.
Paul's like, you want to do 170? I was like, sure. And I was
Sure,
like
why
a
not?
featherweight, 150. I
Let
was
me
like,
put my tequila down.
yeah, sure, fuck it.
Let me get another pizza, please.
But the tequila had nothing to do with the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So I went out there and I did my thing.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who the guy was. Pulled guard. Got my sweep. Immediately, I'm on top. I'm like, fuck, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And then he submitted me effortlessly.
Wow.
With pure technique. No strength. He had all the strength
Yeah.
because he was a monster. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows who
Yeah.
Kanan is
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He submitted me with this knee bar from the bottom, which was super slick
Yeah.
and amazing, and was really kind about it too. He could have like ripped my leg
Yeah.
off, but he was just like, and it was an amazing experience. That was a
Yeah.
good loss.
That's cool.
Did you ask for a bad loss?
No, a good one.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good loss.
Yeah. So,
Can we pause for a pee?
yeah, please. Yeah. Help you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead and go. We'll just keep talking.
All right,
Yeah.
keep talking.
Yeah.
We've been
I'll be
drinking
back.
for a little bit.
Let's just talk
I'm
shit
gonna
about
fill my
John.
beer up a little bit.
That fucking John.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah, go. Yeah, just grab one of the cans.
Yeah.
I
Make
think
sure it's not the
I
one
think
in
it's
the freezer.
something we don't talk about a lot. Is that post post tournament like depression that you're talking about? Like
It's a real thing.
John
dude.
and I were talking a little bit about climbing. It's the same thing. Like when you do like a project that you've been so a project is like a hard climb that you've been working towards for a long time, like training specifically for the movements or whatever. It's like or same with goes with jiu-jitsu, like you training for like Master Worlds, Pans, whatever or whatever is a local tournament, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You're training your ass off for this tournament. You get that gold, and now what?
And
Right.
now what?
Yeah.
Right.
And now what?
And
I'm so tired.
Because you had something to focus all of your energy in, and then you accomplished it, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Right? It's really cool. And then afterwards, you're just like, now what do I focus my
Yeah.
energy on?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like and it's something I think, especially younger athletes, I think grapple is a little bit more, no pun intended, grapple with this a little bit more than like older. I think after you've had enough life experience, you kind of realize like wins come, but you got to deal with like that slump afterwards.
Yeah.
Right.
And there is a slump, dude. It's
Yeah.
It's so real. And the first time I experienced that, like really experienced it, was when I was doing triathlon. And I tell this story all the time. Whenever like I never signed up for a race I was ready for
Right.
ever. Like I mean,
Because you wanted a goal to like
Yeah.
make you build
yeah.
something. Yeah.
So I did. So the triathlons are broken up into sprint triathlons that take about an hour
yeah.
to Olympic triathlons take
The sprints are like 5Ks. And
yeah,
like,
yeah 5K and like maybe like a 10-mile bike or something like
yeah,
that.
like 10 to 15.
Yeah, like
Kitty
500 meter swim. It's
Yeah.
like, but they're meant to be at the highest heart rate level possible. Like you just
like you're 100% the whole
it's
time.
literally a
Yeah.
sprint,
Yeah.
right? And then you have the Olympic level, which requires some level of competence in your bike handling skills, and some, you got to be pretty competent in the water because they're usually open water.
What's the breakdown on that?
They're usually about 700 meter swim, if I remember correctly, and it's usually about
What's that in American?
I don't know, and then I want to say like a 26-mile bike, and then a 10K.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more,
Step up from the sprint.
It's a step up, and it's
like double the sprint.
Yeah, it takes twice the time.
Yeah.
So it's about double the sprint. And, so I did one sprint, and then I did an Olympic right after. That's called Olympic distance. And then you do a half Ironman or half iron distance, because you're not allowed to use their trademark. But a half iron distance is I believe it's like, I want to say
70.3 total, I think.
Yeah, 70.3 total. So you do, gosh, I can't remember. The mile is like a 1.1 mile swim, and then you do like 56
That's a
miles.
lot of swimming.
Yeah.
It is a lot of swimming.
56 miles on the bike, which is a lot of bike,
Yeah.
and then a half marathon. So 13 miles.
Yeah.
So
Swimming's the one that, like, treading water, man. You can just sit there and burn energy just not going anywhere.
Oh, for sure. And then when you start,
Yes, sir.
when the gun goes off, you're like literally like getting the shit beat out of you, because everybody's trying to swim. And I always hung out like in the middle of the pack.
It's like people swimming on top of each other.
Yeah, yeah. And then you'll,
Thanks, brother.
I'll give like a little 10 count. I'd give a 10 count, and then I start swimming.
Yeah.
But the person in front of me may have given like a 7 count and started swimming. So as soon as I go to take a stroke, I get kicked in the face, and my goggles are around my neck, and so it's like a sea of humanity. And then, but I did a half iron distance here. It's a Soma Triathlon. I don't know if they still do it, but it was at Tempe, Beach Park. Yeah. So really, really well run, man. Yeah. Cool people. It was awesome. And then I started looking at doing a full distance triathlon, which is 140.6 miles.
Yeah.
And that's all day. You're going to be out there all day. So I signed up for one called Silverman. It's out of Henderson, and Henderson is hilly as hell. It's
Henderson,
Colorado,
Nevada.
Nevada.
Vegas.
Yeah,
right
just outside of Vegas.
Yeah,
and
suburb of. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Aimee and I met about the time that I signed up, and I was training for that one.
You were training.
You said that one's notorious, right?
Oh, dude.
They don't even do the iron distance.
Yeah.
Silverman anymore, because nobody would sign up for it because the bike was so hard.
Yeah. So it's 112 miles on the bike, and the climbing, and you'll
I don't even want to drive 112 miles.
At the time, I think the year after I did it, they went to 12,000 feet of climbing. I was at 10. I believe mine was at 10.
Yeah.
And you look at the bike course, there's like a bike course breakdown, and it just does like saber teeth. It just does this all the way across. So much climbing. I remember the halfway point in that race. Crested a hill, and my marching orders from my coach were like, don't get your heart rate over 160, no matter what, on the bike. And this is really hard to do when you're climbing like 6%, 7%
Do you have like
grade.
a wristband thing?
Yeah,
on?
I had a heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
I didn't do like wattage. I did heart rate.
Cycling at that level is pretty much learning how to suffer.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Whoever could suffer.
He's really good at it.
That's all it
He's
is.
really, really. I
Oh,
mean,
I
he
know.
married me.
That's why I signed up.
So I crest this hill.
Women.
I crest this hill.
I think Milton was talking about that too.
I love him though. I love him a lot.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
Tojo does. I'm not so much though. Just kidding, Tojo. I love you too, bro. I love you too.
He's like, I'm trying to tell a story.
No, totally good. So anyway, I crest this hill, and I'm going downhill, and I know I'm going the long way around this, but I just got to talk about this fucking hill. So we go down this hill, and it's one of those things, like when you're climbing so much, you hit that crest and you go down here, like, oh, thank goodness, I get a little break.
Yes, you earned it.
And then I get my little break, and then I'm like, okay, still getting a break. And then I'm like, okay, come out of the saddle, and I'm swinging back and forth on the road, like, oh, this is cool. And then I'm like, okay, this is getting annoying, right? It's so much downhill. And then it just went down for like at least 3 miles. It was a 3-mile hill. Yeah. And then I see people, like there's a car and there's a cone, halfway point. That was a halfway marker. Like literally, you get halfway bags, you can eat food, switch your shoes, whatever you want. So I'm eating food, and I'm thinking, I got to go back up this bitch. but
3 miles of uphill now.
Yeah, but you can't let your legs like get acclimated to the stop. So you got to
go.
jump on that bike and go right back up that hill. And I remember just thinking like, this is probably the worst I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Because you're out there. I was on that bike for about 7 hours. Yeah. And you go through.
How many of those did you do? The Ironman?
Full, just one.
Just
just the one.
Man.
But you're looking at like
Took
15,
him like 13 and a half hours.
Because
Yeah.
I've done a couple centuries, dude. And after that century, I'm not running or swimming or really walking much more. You know what I mean? I'm sitting at the bar and I'm gonna get a couple of goals.
You know what? You want to hear something crazy? When I got off the bike, like I was like traumatized because the 2 hardest climbs on that course were after mile 90. Yeah. The 2 hardest climbs were after mile. That's not cool. Anyway, so there are people
unfair.
Probably by design.
Yeah, but they were, a regular road will be like 6%, maybe 7% grade. These had to be 10% because it wasn't like a street road. It was in a park, right? Where you take like ATVs or whatever. So, I mean, there were literally people off their bikes pushing them up this hill. So anyway, we
Cowards.
Yeah. But I'm so traumatized by this course. And when you do, I don't know if you guys have ever done a triathlon, but you go into the transition area.
I've done one.
Okay.
Not an Ironman.
But when you hang up your bike, put on your shoes and you go run, right? Well, I'm so used to doing that when I pull into the transition area, there's a person there taking your bike and taking care of it for you.
Yes.
Right? But my mind is so fucked up at this point that
Who's taking my bike?
This lady's pulling and I'm pulling back. She's pulling and I'm pulling
You're not
back.
stealing my bike.
She's like, it's okay. I'm going to take care of it for you. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. So
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Punched her in the face.
we're literally
Good thing you didn't know jiu-jitsu then.
yeah, no shit.
Hip toss her down the hill.
We're doing tug of war with this bike, but
That's a good
I
story.
remember the run course was 2 laps, and I'm finishing up my second lap, about to go through the chute to finish, and I hear somebody behind me, and they're coming at a pretty good clip, and I just looked back and I was like, hey man, if you want to go down the chute first, have your moment, then I'll have mine. And he's like, I still got another lap. And I'm like, oh, you poor bastard. Holy shit, dude. I could not imagine. Because I didn't finish till like
It was dark.
8:30 at night.
Yeah.
It was dark.
And
yeah.
I can't remember what time we started, but it was early
I don't
morning.
remember either, yeah. I just remember the South African dude.
Yeah.
It was just before Alex crossed the finish line. And one of his support team that was there was like, oh, how was it? Oh, it was horrible.
It was horrible. He was
and
not
all
lying.
he could say was, it was so horrible.
Hold on, I have to throw this out here. So South African dude, that's like saying a white guy from Africa.
Yeah.
Actually,
Don't be racist,
Yeah.
Dojo.
That's it.
I mean,
If there's
like,
one
the
guy you can
African
count
guy,
on to make this weird.
the African guy or the South African
I was
guy.
counting on
Well,
it.
he said he was
why I'm
from
here.
South Africa.
Yeah.
That's all.
South Africa.
I'm just
Yeah.
questioning the relevance.
Whatever.
Dojo,
Just
stop
the
being
accent.
weird, man.
Just the accent. That's the only relevance.
Yeah. So, I guess my point of it was we were talking about the putting in all that effort and then having that depression that comes with it. I remember being in the water at the start, right before the cannon went off, before we started, and I'm just treading water, and my goggles are fogged up, and like I'm in tears because I'm like, it's over. Like the process is over.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm gonna finish. I absolutely have no. There's nothing that's.
But this is before it even
You've
started.
said this to me before,
Yeah.
though, Alex. It's not about. It's about the process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
When it comes so that's what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
depression, because I
Yes.
came in a little bit late. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's what made me realize like I love the process.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I preach that.
Yeah.
to new people. Fall
But
in
we were
love
talking
with
about
that.
before, like when you went to the bathroom, we were talking about how it's like after you.
I was getting a beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went
John
on.
would never leave to go to the
Never,
bathroom. He was
never.
getting beer.
Are you kidding?
Cheers. But we were talking about how like after you accomplish that like hard ass goal, triathlon, hard rock climb, jiu-jitsu tournament, whatever it is, whatever your that gold medal podium thing is, afterwards, after you've put in all that work, you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, and now you're like, now where do I aim my energy?
Yeah.
Like that post accomplishment.
I think this is an important thing to talk about, you guys, because
Yeah.
you have to be able to.
Yeah.
Those of us that have this in us, that's never enough. It's never enough. You
Yeah.
have to be able to enjoy it, at least for a moment.
For a moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but not relish in there.
Yeah.
Because that moment, we're not progressing.
Yeah.
And it's okay to appreciate it because
Yeah.
we've earned it.
Yeah.
And then let's keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still learning and trying to get good at it too. But
Yeah. I love the Happy Gilmore analogy that we used, after I lost. I lost, and I get out of the bullpen, and we're like 364 days until Master Worlds.
Time to toughen up.
You said that to me not too long ago.
Yeah.
And that resonated. I've been thinking about that ever since you told me that.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, just go to the batting cages and have a ball just hit you in the
100%. 100%. Just get hit.
I'm going to wear batting gloves.
Gotta look cool.
Just because.
Yeah, you gotta look cool. Yeah. Yeah. So
I wonder how many people actually know that reference at this point.
Yeah.
You got to have
I
a
don't
little
know.
gray in your beard.
Yeah.
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 Told you, you better start dying.
I hide it.
Or you already are dying it. That's what it is.
Are you?
No, fuck them.
I don't know.
I don't have fucking time
That
for
giggle
that.
was a little too preemptive. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if I
right.
believe
I don't
it.
have time for that fucking.
That was very uncomfortable giggle.
Right.
I'm like, come on, where are they at?
What are
Where
you talking
I
about?
got a gray? Yeah.
Just start thinking manlier thoughts, Tojo.
Yeah.
Push a gray hair.
I'm like
crying
waiting
out
for the
loud.
salt and pepper. I look too good.
Look.
There it is.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Did we get Dan on the show all of a sudden? All right. So, Master Worlds, world champ, brown belt. You got your black belt after. I mean, obviously after that super fight. When did you get your black belt? And tell me about that experience getting it, because I mean, you dedicated a lot of time to athletics, to grappling, to all that. What did that mean to you getting your black belt?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and it's the most rewarding thing in ways I never even could have imagined. You know,
How so?
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I have this opportunity to sit here with you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, and I have this opportunity to have a school where people come and listen to me and share with them what I've been shared.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that at lunch, like, you know, the becoming a coach thing, but like always still being a student.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop being a student.
Never
Yeah.
stop. Right.
At everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right at everything.
I think that's important.
And that's one of the things we learn in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think is you
Yeah.
learn how to learn.
A lot of people
And
think there's a
every-
dead like it ends at black belt.
No, that's just the
Like
beginning.
that's the goal, right?
Nothing
Everyone thinks that's the
ends,
goal.
man. If it
Yeah.
ends, what are you gonna do? Sit down in a chair and watch TV?
Right.
That
Like,
sounds really
That
yeah.
sounds fucking terrible, dude.
Oh,
one,
yeah.
one thing I can guarantee is
And
that
I'm not a golfer. Nothing against golfers. I love golf. Matt Mamlin, I love you, bro.
I was just thinking that.
Shout out to
fucking
Mamlin.
dork.
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
how long before that fucker gets dad bod? Come on, how long? I give it 3 years.
I
Well,
love
the
you, Matt.
The baby's really little still, so
Yeah.
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 You should
maybe
have
he's working on it
I'll
already.
get mad on. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, like especially like when you get like you guys open schools, but like I coach. It's like a lot of guys get to that point where like they can start coaching or being that like that mentor role at the school, whatever that is, right? It's like, but you still gotta remember you're still learning too.
Yeah.
You can't like forget that that's like part of it still.
And it's nice that we're part of Aries.
Yeah.
Because we have such high level people.
Oh,
that
dude,
Always,
no doubt,
man.
no doubt.
we
Yeah,
the ocean is deep in
Yeah.
this team.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And Amy and I were talking about this earlier, and it didn't really click until about now. What that
Right
feeling
this
is?
very
Yeah,
moment?
yeah. No, seriously, because we were talking about like. And I'm glad you said that about the importance of still being a student as well, because we both own academies, right? All three of us own academies. So you got to be on when
I'm
you walk
part of it too.
when you
So
walk
Joe-
through those
You
doors.
three, not
Yeah.
me, not this three.
Yeah.
Be a crisp one.
So when you walk through the doors of the academy that you own, you've got to be on. You got to be on. You are Professor John Cabay. You run the show, right?
It's a
You're-
lot of responsibility.
a lot of responsibility. I think it's important to take a step back and like Thursdays when we go to Nava's place and train, where basically I feel like I grew up there, right? I've grown so much there.
He says we. I didn't see Amy there on Thursday.
I
She was
had
working.
to work.
I've seen her there on a
Thursday.
few Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Works.
But I think it's
Quit.
important. I think it's important to go back and just be a student. And Amy was talking about earlier, there's something about walking through the doors at Nava's, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think the guard's down and you're just another student in the room.
I can come in, man. I can slap hands. I can turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
just smile.
And just learn stuff.
Just
Yeah.
learn stuff, man.
They're
And
just
that's
roll.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
have
it's
trouble
awesome.
like when I'm coaching or like when I'm teaching, like the 6 a.m.s at Nava's, like when it's time to roll, like because like you run the warm ups and you like maybe you do a little warm ups with the like with everybody and you do the technique and everything and then it's time to roll and it's like sometimes I have trouble switching that gear.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and for me, it's like I have the perfect setup. I have Josh teaching the evenings, an amazing coach, amazing competitor. He beats the crap out of me. He critiques my rolls. He's really, really helped me improve in my game. But my problem is, like, when I'm sitting on the mat and I'm watching him show this amazing technique, like all of these little different variables that can happen, my brain is, ooh, toilet paper. Okay, yeah, I got to buy toilet cleaner. I got to buy, oh, shit, we're running low on this. And all of that stuff is going through my brain.
Like the business stuff.
The business stuff, like, oh, this guy called me. He needs a gi, or this guy called and he needs to put his account on hold. And I can't shut that off and just focus on what Josh is showing. And that's a me thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna solve any problems at 7 p.m. at night, right? Because there's nowhere to call.
I almost feel like you're too close to it, because like you teach your fundamentals class from 6 to 7, right? And then you go right into it.
Yeah.
Like for me, like you guys were talking about, like when you step in the doors and you're like, oh, this is different because I'm stepping in as a student.
Yes.
Like it's nice that I have like this break. Like I do the 6 to 7 a.m. right fundamentals or mixed levels class at Paul's. But then I get to hold the whole day off, and then I come in at 7 p.m. and it's like the mixed levels in the evening class. I'm walking in as a student, right?
Yep.
That's completely. It's like I get that break in it. But like if
it's
I had it
perfect.
back to back, I don't know. I mean, that's different. Like,
It's difficult.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially when you're like, somebody's going to do a 3-week meeting, or you got a sales appointment, or there's a walk-in, right after class.
I can relate to this experience because for me, it's just me at my academy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have amazing instructors and amazing help. Shout out to all my people.
Yeah.
Right? But when I started, I was teaching the kids class, the fundamentals, and the advanced. That's a lot to keep in your brain.
That is
all
a
at
lot.
one
and
time.
that's a lot of time.
And it's a lot of
on
different
the mat.
segues.
Yeah.
It's not just the mat time, but it's just like the difference in personality required to engage with
Each one you have to be a different person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to be on. That's
Yeah, you got to be on, and it's hard for me to shut it off, because if I were to go there and train at 6 a.m., right, I can shut my brain off, because 7 a.m., okay, I've got to do this. I've got to make sure I call this guy. I got to make sure that, I follow up with all these people.
But you taught the 6 a.m.s over there too for a while, didn't
I
you?
did. Yeah, I
you
did.
did.
Yeah.
It's
So
like only like the last couple
until
weeks, right?
recently,
about a
he
month.
was working a full-time job as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So I
getting
was
like
Hey,
4
trophy
hours
husband.
of sleep.
yes, thank you, man.
Now he's a trophy husband.
Earned, not given. Trophy
husband. Thank you very much.
I'll take that one.
I like to call myself a kept man. But my day would be like, I would have to cut my day into 3 parts. Like from 4:30 to 7:30, I belong to the academy, right? From 7:30 to 4:30, I belong to my day job. From 4:30 to 8:30, I belong to the academy.
Wearing a bunch of hats. Just
Yeah, yeah, and you just basically have to take one off, put one on, and then there's the dreaded call, like, hey, this guy can't make it this day. Can you cover the class? Oh, this is going on, whatever. So these people are going on vacation. Just little things like that. It's so refreshing to just walk into the school that I grew up in and just train, man. Just fucking train, dude.
Just like it was when you guys were there before me, man. You guys are white to black with Paul. I'm purple to black with Paul.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit envious. I'm not jealous because that's bullshit. It's a useless emotion.
Right.
I'm a little bit envious, man, because I've only known you guys for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm so close to you guys.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we became pretty fast friends because when
Immediately.
Yeah.
You kicked my ass the first day. And you were nice to me.
He was out of shape.
Before and after.
He was out of shape.
No.
I mean, we
Gotta
got
catch
like
him.
we got like
pretty nice
Cabay
guy,
though
though.
after he like turned into like the cool hippie guy.
Yeah.
Because I saw some pictures. I'm like, that guy kind of looked like a douchebag.
I wasn't.
I saw some of your
Totally
younger
douchebag.
pictures.
Have
I
you
saw
seen-
some of your pictures.
Dude, I was a
seen
douchebag.
Have you seen him without a beard?
I look like
Hot.
I look like a cop.
Hot.
Sounds
Nothing against law enforcement.
Smoking hot.
Train with a lot of them. Got a lot of students, law enforcement.
Yeah.
But in my former line of work, not the best look.
I don't know. Yeah,
Just saying.
I'm digging the beard. I
Yeah.
like the beard a lot.
Yeah.
Santa Claus
Santa
is
Claus
popular, all year long, really.
Yeah. Santa hippie.
And
Yeah.
once I got the nickname, the Greywolf.
I mean, you did that
I'm
the fight to
done
win where you
with
threw out the candy canes and shit. Like that was
Oh,
fucking
that was good.
funny. That was
That was
great.
And then Yogi
Yeah.
Nogi says, "Hey man, can I eat this? I got a drug test on Monday."
They're like, yeah, they're just regular
There's
ones.
kids in the audience.
Valid.
They're just regular candy canes.
Valid
That's like that
question.
typical like Fox
yeah.
News shit. It's like
Valid
people don't
question.
give out free drugs. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Right. Go check your Halloween candy. That
Yeah.
shit's expensive.
Yeah, no one's just giving you drugs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Shows how
man.
detached they are.
Yeah. 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 So at what point did you decide that, hey, the next step is the next step? Let's open an academy. Like what was that process like? Because you and I have had a lot of conversations, man, and you talk about like, I've never heard you say that you were unhappy with the life you're living. You know what I mean? You're just like, you live your life, you basically do what you want. And then now you're going to put on this added responsibility of running an academy. Why? Why did you do that?
Because I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. And it helped me with so many different things, and it fixed me in so many different ways that I never even could have possibly imagined.
Yeah.
And to share that with other people, it almost just happens inevitably.
Yeah.
It's like organic, I mean,
Yeah.
you stick around jiu-jitsu long enough, you want to give back to it because it helps you.
I think in order to grow, you got to give back.
I felt I was nervous as fuck though.
Yeah.
When I told Paul.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have this if it wasn't for Paul.
Oh, yeah.
This is
guaranteed. Yeah.
100%. I learned my chops with Paul. He let me take over the 10 a.m. class after the 6 a.m. class for, whatever. But man, when I told Paul, I'm like, okay, man. Paul, I'm going to open an academy. And he goes, fuck. Fuck.
Pretty much same. Yeah.
And I go, no, it's like a year out. He goes, okay, fuck. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like, I just had a heart attack. Come on.
But I,
right.
out of respect for him, man, because he's my mentor. He's my coach. And he will always be my mentor and my coach, not just in jiu-jitsu, but out of respect for him and out of respect for this thing that's bigger than me and bigger than all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But I was nervous, man.
Yeah.
And
Same.
he was
same.
so cool about it. Once he's like, okay, man, I'll do anything for you. Like,
Got to ease into it.
And it took about a year, and it fortunately, Amber and Nick took over the 10 a.m. class, which is they're killing it.
Yeah,
with that whole
they're doing
thing.
great.
So
Yeah.
great, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. So, so tell me about your location because it's not that close to where you live. And like I said, your hippie lifestyle, I would imagine if you're going to open a jiu-jitsu academy with all of that responsibility, you're going to open your front door, open the door to the academy and walk like up, 10 feet. But you're not. You're a good 20, 25 minutes away from your house. Yeah. So why'd you pick that location? By the way, give everybody your location before we forget.
I'm at 4030 East Thunderbird Road in Phoenix, Arizona, right on the corner of 40th Street and Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Right behind Anytime Fitness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right by where the Paradise Valley Mall
I'm in
was?
Phoenix, so I'm paying Phoenix prices, but I got Paradise Valley right next door.
The mall's
Nice.
not there anymore, right?
No, the mall's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a nice area. It's a really nice gym. And it's Anytime Fitness's old pool, so I got 30-foot ceilings and skylights. Which
Beautiful, man. I'm so jealous.
Man, that's such a beautiful space. I was so lucky when I found it.
Yeah, that
It
natural
really
lighting
was,
you guys
man.
get.
So
Awesome.
beautiful.
God,
Yeah.
So good.
I'm
Yeah,
so
dude.
bummed. I haven't even gotten to be there yet. I'm so
Really?
bummed. Yeah.
You haven't been there?
Amy.
Because work is ruining my life.
I
Gotcha.
told you
sir.
to quit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Alex,
I
would you
know.
start working harder so Amy?
I know. That's my goal.
Yeah.
That's,
Stop being so lazy, man.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
Yeah, I haven't.
Have you could tell I like a crisp high five from time to time.
Yeah.
So, what I notice, and I don't know if this is true for everybody, but what I notice is like you've got a immediate bond with your students. That's been really cool to watch. And the majority of your students are white belt, right? Blue belt, white belt. So-
I'm gonna
so-
see a white belt.
You see a white belts,
You
yeah,
guys know.
yeah.
When you
So-
start out, that's where you.
Tell me about your team. Tell me about the team you brought in to groom those people and how
Whoa. We don't say groom.
we don't.
No, grooming's bad.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it sounds like kind of like, yeah,
Grooming underage kids.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
good. Especially in the jiu-jitsu community.
We don't say groom.
He's being rude.
You don't say groom.
There he is getting weird again.
Mold.
teach.
Build.
Mold sounds terrible. Mold is. Ugh.
Anyways,
So tell me about the team that's teaching.
so you mean my instructors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So after I told Paul, the next person I told was Vinny.
Okay.
I said, Vinny, I'm gonna open a school. He said, John, I've been thinking about this. I want to teach for you. I didn't even have to ask him.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I need a morning guy. I'm your guy.
What? Cool. Does he live out there?
Awesome.
No.
Oh shit.
He lives on the west side, right? Like
Yeah, but not really that close.
he's like, isn't he
He
like
was in
on Goodyear?
Levine for a while. Like he just was like all in because me and him bonded immediately because of this thing that's so pure
Yeah.
that introduces us to amazing people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I couldn't have done it without Vinny. And then Jarrell and Lexi were the next two.
Mm-hmm.
And those 3 were critical in me getting the thing off the ground, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I cannot thank them enough. And they're still a huge part of the program, and I love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love those guys.
They're awesome.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
they're all great.
And now we've added some classes and added some instructors. We have Brendan from
Tierney?
Paul. Yep.
Yep.
Savage.
Yep.
Nicest savage ever.
Yeah.
Nose all mushed over because he
Yeah,
fought
yeah.
Muay Thai.
Yeah.
He's my age, but he's just shredded.
Shredded.
Yeah.
Shredded.
Yeah.
Amazing human being.
What does he
Mr.
teach?
Short
then?
Shorts.
What does he teach?
He teaches the 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday gi.
Okay.
It might be just Monday, Wednesday right now. We're going to add Friday soon, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just got back from vacation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an amazing instructor.
Yeah.
And it's just a great guy. And
Yeah.
then Alex Montalvo is teaching my kids program.
Okay.
He's killing it. He's an 18-year military Army veteran.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him on the podcast.
You should.
Yeah, I am.
Great. His story's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I
His
am.
story's great.
Yeah.
5 combat tours, Afghanistan
Wow.
and Iraq. Amazing human being.
Alex
And
Montalvo. Do I?
Big dude.
He's a Aries
Really
guy,
cool.
big guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really
blue
cool
belt.
dude.
Okay.
Pretty well. He's been training a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. But man, he treats those kids so well, and they respond to him so well, and
Yeah.
it's so cool because he treats them like little soldiers. And he's really up
That's
so you know they were Coach Alex, and when he gives them a little bit of emotion, they just come out of their shell.
Oh.
It's so cool to see, man. He's doing such a great job.
Yeah.
With it. And then
Good kids coach is hard to come by.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
where like the kids like latch onto him.
Yeah.
You know. Honestly, like I've seen you with the kids. It's good.
Yeah, I love coaching kids, man. You know what? It's so funny because like people will say, "Look, well, how do you teach kids jiu-jitsu?" I'm like, just show them jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like they are way better than you are
Yeah.
at learning this
I
stuff.
can't fucking do it. Every time I'm like, I just like, it feels like a bunch of little fucking rabid animals.
They are little
Yeah.
rabbit animals, but
Yeah.
you know what makes it so worthwhile. It's like if you get a kid that comes in and they don't want to be there,
Yeah.
right? And then a month later they're making friends, and then a month later they're dominating, and then a month later
Like
they're
a
like,
confidence build.
yeah,
and all
dude,
that,
you see
just
that
like the
growth.
adults, you see them come out of their shell.
Yeah.
Turn into a better version of a human being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that young girl that trains at Paul's that she does like the fundamentals too, and I see her like train with like the adults, and she's like I don't know like 10,
Yeah.
11 or something
Yeah.
like that. You just see like her confidence. She just comes in there and she's just like mean mugging, like ready to fuck up these like white belts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But she's just like a little girl. She's tiny. And it's like oh,
Think
She's
about
game.
that girl's got the attitude.
Yeah.
She's got
She's
it.
game.
That is so
Yeah.
empowering,
Yeah.
especially for a little girl.
Yeah.
One thing I was not prepared for. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. But I wasn't prepared to. You're in the moment, right? You're always living in that moment, and you're just like pouring your heart into this program so these kids can have a great time and maybe compete or maybe grow or whatever. And then next thing you know, like 7 or 8 years pass.
Yeah, they're
And then
adults.
They're adults.
Yeah.
And you're watching them go to college.
Luis comes.
Little,
to mind.
little
Luis
Luis,
Varela.
100%.
Yeah, little Luis.
He's fucking
Hunter.
tall when I
I
signed up,
remember
dude.
when he was a little fucking
the
kid.
tiniest
Yeah,
little
dude.
dude.
Now he's a brown belt.
And he's a
And he's like 6'2".
savage.
Little
and he
asshole.
doesn't even have his man strength yet.
Not
Not
yet.
even.
No.
No.
Fuck you, Luis. and I love you, bro. I love you, but fuck you.
Yeah, but
Be nice to me. Remember how nice I was to you.
But I mean, we had another kid. Hunter. You remember Hunter?
Yeah.
Got his blue belt through Nava. He's in the Air Force and he's doing fantastic. And
Dan's kid too.
yeah, Dan's kid.
Colin?
Yeah, Colin.
Callan.
Never heard
Shout
of
out
her.
to Callan.
Never heard of her.
But I remember
He's all
like,
running the Eastern Europe block right now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's in the Marines
He's
right
in
now.
the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
But when Hunter was going to join the Air Force, he and his dad came over and they want to talk to me about
Chris?
it, and I'm like, yeah, Chris.
Yep.
So I'm talking to him, and he was either going to go to college, right, or join the military, but not. I don't know if he's going to want to do both, right? So I said, well, no, he was either going to go to college first and then join the military, or join the military and then go to college. So I said, there's a couple of trains of thought here, right? Coming from experience, I had to join the military. I feel like I had to because I had to get away from the situation I was walking into myself. It had nothing to do with my family. It had nothing to do with my, any. It was me. I was being an idiot, and I knew I was going to go to prison at some point, right? So that was my way out. Anyway, but he's a smart kid. Totally different situation. However, it's better to join the military when your frontal lobe is not fully developed.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would never join.
Otherwise, you wouldn't climb the 50-foot tower. That's stupid. I just walk around the stupid.
And it's a valuable experience.
It's a great experience.
It's an amazing experience for those who go through it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Were you military?
No.
Oh,
People ask me that a lot, though.
Yeah, you get a lot of responsibility at a very young age, and there's a lot of there's situations where you could get into a shitload of trouble at a very young age for neglecting that responsibility. So you do it. You do it right.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been a decent enough athlete and when I was younger, I would have needed something like the military.
Yeah.
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 I squeaked through, man. I'm not, and I'm the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
Don't follow my suit.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a couple of very close friends go to prison. Very close. Like we're talking, we hung out daily.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's just one of those things. I had to reinvent myself basically, right? There's that and there's good and bad. We'll go into that another time. But
another podcast.
Another
Thanks for sharing,
podcast.
bro. See, that's why I love this. Is so cool, man. I learn so much about everybody
Yeah.
when we do this, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
awesome.
All around, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot what we were talking about. But
We were talking about his team, like
the team.
the crew he's built. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Like especially like all the people that you have there are like everyone who knows Vinny fucking loves Vinny.
Yep.
Everyone who knows Lexi and Jarrell loves fucking Lexi and Jarrell
Yeah.
because like they just like they're so supportive and they want like everyone who teaches or trains under them, all their students, they all sincerely want them to succeed. And like that's you couldn't ask for much more from your coaches.
Well, you know how it is
And
too, man.
that's-
Like each class. Sorry to cut you
No,
off.
please.
Each like the morning class, the 6 a.m., the 10 a.m. It's all like a different kind of
It is.
community,
Yeah.
but it's all part of the same community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they bond with those instructors
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
much. Yeah.
So fortunate that everybody is so great at what they do, but they care.
Yep.
Yeah.
They love it.
And that was what I was going to say, that just the coaches that you have that have come in and they genuinely, specifically I know Lexi and Jarrell, they really, really care about the people that they're teaching.
Yeah.
And they love jiu-jitsu
Mm.
and they want to show what they have and they really want you to get better,
Yeah.
and that's just,
Service to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think
Awesome.
is common.
Passionate
I think it's really common in jiu-jitsu too. Like I think or especially modern jiu-jitsu, I should say, because I think at one point it's like that like traditional martial arts thing where everyone's like, I have my secret techniques that I don't want to
Yeah.
share with anybody.
There's
I
no
think,
secrets anymore, bro.
right,
No.
right,
Come on.
right, and especially with like
Well, maybe.
social
Milton
media.
shared a couple
Milton
secrets.
had some super secret ninja shit.
secret
Wrap your tongue around your brain. Wrap your tongue around your brain.
Yes.
But
Full circle.
That's awesome.
But no. What I was gonna say is everyone kind of just like the better all your peers get, the better you get.
Yeah.
So there's like no reason in like trying to be like, I don't want to share this with Alex because then he'll beat me. It's like, no, if Alex can beat me, that's better
It's
for
gonna
me.
make me figure something else
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, because then I have to get better, right?
Exactly.
So you showed me a guard pass that I use almost every night. Okay. That
Which one?
it's like a reverse kind of neon belly-ish from half
Oh,
guard.
yeah,
and
that
step
like
out.
just
flip down
thing.
and kind of
Yeah. So I do that
Yes.
almost every night, and it works 99% of the time as long as I'm not being stupid.
Not on
right.
me.
But right after, and I do it against lower belts. I mean, I have a lot of white belts and blue belts. But right after class, I will show them exactly what I did and what they can't let me do in order to prove, because
Doesn't,
that makes me sharper.
A really good grappler by the name of Mikey Musameki do the same thing?
Never
Does he?
Never heard of him.
He-
Doesn't he teach all his students like everything he knows
Yeah.
and all the defenses so he can work around it?
Yeah.
I heard that shit. That's genius, bro.
That's just I just feel like that'll make me sharper. Right?
I think
Yeah,
that's a
man.
sign of like a mature athlete in general. Like if like people who like
He just
try-
called me old, by the way.
He did. I heard it.
mature as in old as fuck. Is what I mean. But you know what I mean? Like
Come on, Tony.
anyone
I'm
who
right
like
behind you,
limits
too.
the people who are their competition are the people who are trying to limit themselves. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Like you need like the people that like you're around all the time to be better because it's like what is it? The rising tides like raises all ships or
Yep.
whatever the hell it
Yep.
is. Like that's what you want.
Yeah.
If you're the best guy in the room or woman, you're in the wrong.
You're in the
fucking
wrong room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find a new room.
Right.
I want to close a loop real quick around Lexi and Jarrell and their style, their coaching style. Not their coaching style, but just the way they are as people. If they're in the room, let's just say with 50 other grapplers, you probably won't find 10 that are better than they are.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
They're
They're
amazing.
so good, right? I mean, Jarrell's been submitting me since he was a blue belt and make me feel stupid because, you know, he doesn't pass my guard all the time, but
You
he
mean
submits the
making you feel
shit
how
out of
you
me.
are.
Yeah.
And he's playing guard now.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. But Lexi's a very quiet,
Kind-hearted savage.
kind-hearted savage. Yeah,
Yes.
she's very quiet.
Yes.
But what I love
will
about
take
them,
you
She's
down.
awesome.
what I love about them is I quite honestly could teach them very little.
Yeah.
I could teach them very little. I could show them a few things that'll like sharpen up their game maybe a little bit, but I'm not going to show them a technique that's going to be, you know, ape, discover, fire, right?
Yeah.
But they still want that little bit. They
want it.
still want to be
Well,
coached. They
just like we
want to
do.
be made better.
Yeah.
But when you're that good, it's really easy to fall into, all right, let's see what you got.
But
What are you gonna show
sometimes
me?
that's not like when like being a coach. I think we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier too. Like, it's not like I'm going to teach you like a specific technique. Coaching isn't necessarily like there is a lot of that. Like that's how like class structure is built, right?
Yeah.
Like here's some technique. Now let's go apply it. But I think when you get to a certain level, a lot of times it's like you just need someone to be like, hey, quit fucking backing off and let's push it. Like it's like pushing
Yeah.
that momentum is
Yeah.
like kind of like what your job is as a coach. Not necessarily like I need to teach this guy how to do heel hooks from this position or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes all it is just like being that guy who's like, hey, you've been kind of slacking. Let's push
Yeah.
it up. Or,
Yeah.
or you know, sometimes you got to be mean,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like sometimes you're being a bitch.
Let's
I can be
touch
mean.
on how do you motivate different people for
Yeah.
It depends.
people
Yeah.
respond to different types, man, and
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you can coach someone who's better at jiu-jitsu than you,
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, you
right?
can. Yeah.
Because it's not
sure.
necessary, like especially like when we're all black belts, like we're all like there's no black belt techniques, right?
Dude,
Right.
I'm almost 50, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start getting murdered by my students at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, they're still gonna look to me, kind of like that. What's that rat from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
How dare you?
The rat. Oh, yeah. What's the name?
What's his name?
You know. Stop it.
Shredder.
Shredder.
Master
Yes.
Splinter, you
Splinter.
Shredder was the bad guy.
Splinter was a bad guy.
You
I'm
fucking
old.
Hey.
I'm
asshole.
fucking old. Did I offend
Shredder.
Tojo?
Oh.
I totally just
I'm
offended
fucking out.
Tojo.
Shredder.
Here.
Shredder
You can
probably
have the
has
rest of the
some.
beer.
Thank you. That's acceptable. All right.
Shredder probably had some cool things to teach too. I'm just saying. He's been around. He did martial arts for a long time too.
Hey, listen.
Hey, he's the
If we
the
don't go off
original.
the rails once, we really having a good podcast. Come on.
Hey, Master Splinter was the original YouTube student because he learned by watching his master through his cage. All right, that's basically YouTube.
You're a mega nerd.
That's so deep, bro.
You're a
bro.
mega nerd.
So don't act like you can't learn from watching YouTube.
Well, that's an old school technique too. YouTube used to be shit, but
Now I'm gonna have
there's a
some
lot of good
asshole
content
trying
out
to
there.
fucking
Yeah,
front flip
it's
through my
true.
guard again.
Yeah.
Sierra.
Wow. Sierra, just so you know, I didn't start that. So, oh my
No,
god.
She knows.
Tojo came up with that all on his own. We
Yeah.
love you, Sierra.
Yeah. So tell me what's next. What's next for you, man? What's on the horizon for your academy?
Let's see. Next on the horizon is we have the tournament on February 11th.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
I have
Oh, yeah.
10 or
Doing
11
that?
International, yep.
competitors competing.
10 or 11? That's good.
10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah.
3 kids this time, and we've only had one kid. We had one teenager, and the teenager's competing again.
Okay.
Oh, yay. That
yeah.
must be Peyton.
Yes.
I
She's
love
a great
her.
kid.
She's great.
Her whole
kid,
family.
Her whole family.
Her whole
family,
family's so
yep.
cool. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm. Yeah.
And I
so-
apologize. I always forget their names.
Sanders.
Sanders?
Sandners.
Sandners.
The Sandner Ninja Squad.
Sandner
Shout out to the
Ninja-
Sandner Ninja Squad.
They are so kind.
Yeah, they're
I love
amazing,
I love
man.
being
They're-
around
they're-
them. Yeah.
But you know, that's I keep going back to it. But this thing that's bigger than all of us introduces us to people that are so amazing. And if it wasn't
Yeah.
for jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't have met and I wouldn't have the opportunity to continue to meet people and share this thing with them.
Yeah,
It sounds
man.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
But it's so
man.
true.
It's
So true.
Yeah. What about you personally? What competitions are you going to do this year?
Master Worlds.
That's it?
That's the only one.
That's the only one that matters.
That's
Yeah.
the only, I mean, I'm going to do more.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that
Is
matters.
that October?
I've been training since the last
August.
time we talked about
August?
Yeah, August.
Wasn't last year?
End of August.
End of
early
August.
September.
August, September.
Yeah. And then
30,
probably
31-1, I think. August.
I'll do the Phoenix Open if they come
Same.
back. It's not
Yeah.
announced. And then probably Pans and American Nationals.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be a little more active
And
local.
Fight to Win Pro. Seth.
Seth, call him up.
I want all and
Seth, I want
would
to
love
fight
have-
John Cabay
I
in
don't
a
want-
death match.
I don't want that match. I want that match. I want
Alex
me,
is this young guy. Right?
Yeah,
I
whatever.
want me and all my instructors to be on Fight to Win Pro.
That would be
If
awesome.
Can make that happen. That would be amazing.
Dude, that would be so cool.
That would be
so
so
cool.
cool.
I remember at the Phoenix Open, I was in the bullpen with 7 or 8 of the Aries adult black belts.
Yep.
Jeez.
The lineup was insane.
Phoenix has
dude.
become like the Aries headquarters.
Yeah,
Let's be fucking real. We have a lot of
insane,
Aries
dude.
schools here
Yeah.
and a lot of awesome Aries black belts. I mean, obviously we got Milton on the East Coast, and
Yeah.
Milton and Kenny
speaking
on
of
the East
awesome,
Coast.
not to interrupt you, but I forgot to mention Mateus. Speaking of awesome,
Little Mateus.
Aries black belt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mateus
yeah.
is
Fuck
now
yeah.
part of my new instructor crowd.
Oh, no shit.
He's doing my Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday 6 a.m. class.
Yay. All
Tuesday,
right.
Thursday, no gi. Wednesday, gi. And he's killing it.
If you don't know,
Mateus is like
he's a
120 pounds.
fucking
Maybe.
ninja. A ninja. Yeah.
He's got the strongest skeleton, I think, of anybody. Anyways, I forgot to. So
Yeah.
He's so unassuming too. He's like super.
reminded me of that,
He's a nice dude. Just
I-
fucking really.
I love the
I'm
way
not
he
nice, dude.
lights up when you ask him to roll.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you want to roll? And he just lights up, and
Yeah.
he's about to light your ass up.
Sweetest fucking kid ever, right? Sweetest kid ever.
Sweetest kid ever, man.
And he'll
Yeah.
fuck you up.
He will fuck you up, but in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you got Mateus. That's awesome, dude.
I didn't get Mateus. It just happened organically
Yeah.
because of this thing.
Yeah.
That we're all a part of.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome, though.
funny how that
I
happens,
sent a
right?
message to Q. Again, part of the association. I said, hey, Q,
Yeah.
I need an instructor for 6 a.m. And then Mateus texted me. He said,
Yeah.
hey, I heard you need somebody to coach.
No way.
6
That's
a.m.
cool.
And I was only doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the time. And I was doing Wednesday morning, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was killing me. I did it for
Yeah.
almost 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And I showed up the first day. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll do like the first month with him. One class.
Yeah. He had it.
One class. I was his uki. He had it. And
Yeah.
he's killing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Killing it.
He's one of those guys. Like, if you don't like Mateus, I don't trust you.
There's a
Yeah,
problem
you're
with
you're
you.
probably a
There's
bad
something wrong
person.
with you.
Yeah. You're probably a bad person
He's
if you
such
don't
a
like
nice
him.
kid. He's
Yeah.
so sweet, and he's like,
Genuine.
but also very fucking good at jiu-jitsu.
He's a fucking ninja, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, they have a lot of guys out there that are, high level competitors. They do their, I believe it's like 10 a.m. training, 4 days a week or whatever it is.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yeah, that's a killers. That's
Yeah.
Savage Crew. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's when they get all of their anger out because they're nice to everybody else the rest of the time. Right? That's got to be it.
They just
gotta
fuck
get-
each other up, and
They
they're
just
like,
fuck
yeah,
each other
yeah,
up.
go
Yeah.
do that. Go do that.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
to one day have enough time to get over there a couple
Yeah.
days a week to just get murdered by
I've
those guys.
I've talked about doing that. It's just it's a long commitment. It's
And it's
literally
it's
a 3 hour
longer haul
commitment
for you.
It's a
Yeah.
3 hour commitment for me. Yeah, I'd have to drive there and back,
It's
and
not
then
as
plus
far
being
for
there.
me.
Yeah. If I was closer, maybe, but I mean, you got a business
We
to
should
run.
do it once a month, maybe then. Yeah.
We could do it.
Let me know.
We could do it.
I mean, let's
Down
commit
go
to
get
once a
murdered
month.
for
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's gonna make us. It's
I
not gonna
admit
make us
to too
worse.
much fear.
On the other side of that, fear is powerful.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I was talking to. Do you know Rick? Do you know Rick? Their black belt out there. He's about 195, maybe 200 pounds.
Does he have a whiteboard?
Recent
Shut your face.
recent promotion to black belt. He's a novice guy.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure you've met him.
I'm sure.
But he was
Ricky. Yeah.
yeah, Ricky.
Military guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was telling me about the last 3 rounds he had over there, and I was like, God, that's Kevin, Mateus, and Q or something like that. It was like in the middle of his session.
I
He had
saw
those.
Kevin today after the seminar. Kevin goes and puts his new gi on.
Yeah.
And he just walks out on the mat with this like little smirk on his face. Really kind, but just like a hawk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna eat first? In the nicest way.
His nose started bleeding in the middle of our round. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's a win. That's a win.
I didn't hit him. It just started bleeding.
I'll take
No, I didn't even kick him in the face. I was just like, yes, I got an out.
Fucking I'll tell you that. Yeah. Oh, he's got something going on.
Yeah, I heard him. No big
Yeah.
deal.
What are you gonna do?
How much
He's
time is
having-
left in the round?
Yeah. It's a combat sport. Oh my gosh.
That's what I mean. There's so many amazing instructors,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu practitioners, people we can all learn. I mean, and we need that.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to stop learning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we here for?
What do you
Yeah.
think you'd be doing if you weren't doing jiu-jitsu? Honestly, what do you think you'd be doing?
I don't even know if I'd be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on the planet,
Yeah.
not here?
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I might be in the whatever the
Mars.
next realm of, human existence is.
Mars.
Say more about that. What do you think? What do you think? Where do you think it would
I
go?
went through some dark times, man.
Yeah.
You know, I had some rough experiences, man. I went through a really tough divorce, and you know, I was madly in love with this woman, and we are the best of friends now. We really
cool.
are. After it's
That's
all
cool.
said and done, she's doing amazingly well, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy for her. We've reconnected in good ways.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's a dark time, man. You know, I was committed to that relationship. We were married 13 years, together 17.
Wow.
And I was vested, man, and so I trained through the whole thing. You know, even the darkest times, I trained always. And there was days in when I moved back to Arizona, I was going through it. And
Yeah.
you guys helped me through that, really. And to be able to show up.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we love you, man.
Yeah, I love you, brother. You know that.
And there's a lot of love in jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for sharing that, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
I
I'm
think
an emotional guy.
Yeah.
Real men show emotion, by the way.
For real. For real.
fighters are emotional. Fighters are emotional always.
It saved my life. It's cliche, but it really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be here
Yeah.
if it wasn't for this
And
thing.
then I think it's
Yeah.
important for people to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people don't want to show that emotion, but
Yeah. It's
for a guy,
important.
especially like you,
It's
like
real.
you know, a big dude, you know, definitely like a man's man.
Yeah.
There's that emotion, right? I think that's important for a lot of people to see that.
Yeah.
Want to put up that front.
I'm
Fuck
I'm
that shit.
I'm afraid to think about who I'd be without it.
Yeah.
I really am, because I mean, I literally grew up in the past, going on 11 years. I grew up so much, and I
Yeah.
learned I literally peeled me open and showed me who I am.
It
Yeah.
reveals yourself to yourself.
And I think
Like you said, there's no lies. There's no lies in jiu-jitsu.
no,
You can't lie.
and I think it started when I was 19 years old. If you really try to peel back the onion, I had to leave a situation that I was walking into, right, willingly, because I was in a really bad place mentally. But I was walking into this really bad place, and I had to leave and reinvent myself, which means I never really got to know myself. In the most critical time, when you like you said earlier, Aimee, you're starting to understand who you are. You're in college. You're trying to develop your personality, I guess, and
Your whole self.
Everything,
find
yeah.
out who you are. Well, I had to deny that because I was afraid to go to prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I literally went out and reinvented myself, and then I just tried to be someone that I'm not all the time.
Yeah.
And it was, and I can tell you, like, over and over, like, different opportunities I had where the universe, God, whatever the hell you want to call it, saying, "Hey, man, this is who you are." And I'd be like, "Oh, no, I'm not that." I was afraid of that, right? That's, that leads to bad places. I got to go and do this. I got to go chase a dollar. I got to go whatever. But yeah, man, I'm afraid to think about where I'd be without it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thankful,
That's
grateful.
why it's special, man.
Grateful.
That's
Yeah.
why it's special.
It's fucking, yeah.
You can do it
It's amazing.
forever. You can do it forever.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like baseball where you're like, well, now I'm fucking 40. How am I supposed to play baseball now?
It's pickup basketball for people who like to get their aggression out by simulating murder with their best friends.
Yeah.
People, people who like to be badasses. That's what.
I got to tell you about a dream I had not too long ago. You weren't in it.
You were naked.
Oh, good.
You were
You
naked.
didn't
I was
have-
gonna say, this sounds
you weren't
weird.
naked. You weren't naked.
I can assure
But
you he does have weird dreams.
But I want
right
to
for the source.
I want to bounce this off of you because I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
When you and I were kids and we were playing, baseball, soccer, football, whatever it is,
together.
as children, right? As children, I'm 50, you're almost 50.
He means in the 40s.
Somewhere around there. But everything was always super competitive. Even like little pickup games in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you. We played neighborhood against neighborhood,
Yeah.
in football and stuff like that, but it was always like very, very physical. And then, you fast forward through, our kids' generation and going into the next, soccer stopped being competitive, right? At some point, they had leagues dedicated to not keeping score and doing. Hey, listen, I'm not one to judge. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know how kids' minds develop. Right? Mine developed through a lot of smacking, but I had a dream the other night that we were at a tournament. Right? It was a kids' tournament, and they weren't keeping score, and the place was quiet, and it was like, okay, these kids are grappling, and they raise both arms. And I woke up in a panic because I thought this could happen. This is what Americans do. Like, we take the competitiveness out of things to facilitate, I don't know what, some kind of utopia that everybody's going to be happy. I don't know that I could handle it.
That's a scary dream. That's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It's good to lose.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a winner and a loser.
It's
really
good to know
you
that
know
it's
you have a
okay to
benchmark
lose.
so you can get better.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
and it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
it's okay to lose. You're not made of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like, when you have like the soccer teams that don't keep score and all that kind of shit that's going on, it's like, but they don't learn how to lose because you are gonna lose at life.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one
Yes.
wins at everything in life.
Nope.
Nobody.
Dude, you know what the kids that were
Even
losing.
fucking Elon Musk took a fucking L when he went on fucking. He went on that with the stand up with what's his name,
Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
And everyone booed him.
Booed him, yeah.
It's like he took a fucking L and he's
Yeah.
a fucking billionaire.
He's
Yeah.
lost more money than any billionaire ever.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And he's
for sure.
And he's still a
not
billionaire.
hurting. He's not hurting.
still a billionaire.
He's gonna be
It's
just fine.
okay to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But-
people need to learn that.
But if you think about it this way, like the people like say 30 years ago that were losing at fucking kickball or whatever, and they just were not athletic.
Yeah.
The ones that fucking went to the library, read every book in there, and got into technology, they own the world now,
Yeah.
right? They fucking own the world now. But they learned a valuable lesson a long time ago. Okay, I can't do it with my hands or feet, but I'm gonna show these fuckers what I can do with my brain,
Yeah.
right? Still competitive,
Yeah.
and they're still taking
It's just
and
different.
still win.
Yeah, it's still competitive though. That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Like people forget that like mental competitiveness, like being the top of the class or whatever, is still competition.
Yeah,
That is still a competition.
Yeah.
Being like number one in your class is still competition.
still competition. Yeah,
Obviously, we need physical attributes to be good at jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
But the best people at jiu-jitsu are
the
using
nerds.
their brains.
Nerds.
Fucking
They're
nerds.
nerds.
Mikey Musumeci, like you were
Dude.
talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, bro.
He's a dork. He's
It's
a nerd.
Yeah.
Thinking humans activity. Art,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, everyone always compares it. It's chess. It's chess to checkers, right?
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing. And listen,
All
we're
cliche,
black belts.
right?
You're going to be a black belt someday.
Someday.
You know, we're just scratching the surface.
Mhm.
Yep.
You can never learn all of jiu-jitsu in as many lifetimes as we could hope to have.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's one message I could pass along to, if there's parents listening to this, jiu-jitsu parents listening to this, those sports that are giving medals and trophies to everybody just for participation are doing your kid a big solid. Huge solid, because your kid is going to go into a freaking negotiation or a job interview
Yep.
or something where they're trying to get into a good college against somebody that played on the orange team in soccer that didn't keep score, and they're going to fucking eat them alive.
Yeah.
They're going to eat them alive. And they're going to be the most confident person in that room because they've taken that L, right? Oh, man, I get worked up about this one, man.
But that's why I think
Fucking-
jiu-jitsu is such an important thing in a lot of, like, especially young people's lives, because like there is no end goal. Like we talked about that earlier about like the black belt's not the end goal. Like you don't
No.
get your black belt and you're like, well, now I can quit, right? Because you're constantly learning. Like my buddy just started training with you guys, right? The one Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
just started. And he was,
BDJ.
we were hanging out the other weekend, and he was like asking me like advice, right? And I was like, dude, just fucking listen. I was like, trust me, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I don't know everything.
Mm-mm.
There's like, and I was like, and not only do I not know everything, nobody knows everything.
Nobody knows everything.
And there's people who
It
are
hasn't even
still
all been invented
coming
yet.
up
Yeah.
with shit. That's what I was telling him. I was like, jiu-jitsu's been around for decades, and people are still coming up with new techniques,
Yeah.
or new ways to apply certain techniques.
Here's something along the same lines. If you take innovators, right, like Eddie Bravo and those guys that have been like, they've taken jiu-jitsu to a different level, right? They all go back to like a guy like Hodger Gracie and say he's the GOAT. And Hodger, all he does is fundamental shit.
Fundamental
Shit.
Hodger's my goat.
Yeah, he is the GOAT, man.
Because
No
he doesn't
doubt.
do anything fancy.
No.
My favorite Hodger Gracie quote, you guys all heard it, but I'll say it again because it's important to say.
Yeah.
There are no black belt techniques.
Yep.
There are just basic techniques performed at the black belt level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the fundamentals will never let you down. They will
Yeah.
work until we're done doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's in our 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is like
and if
really
you don't
important.
have the
Yeah.
fundamentals, none of that fancy flashy shit works.
It doesn't.
Well, I mean,
It
like
doesn't.
look at the seminar we just did. Like first of all, like nothing that like Milton showed was like particularly like groundbreaking, right? It was kind of like very fundamental stuff, like escaping the back, escaping choke positions from the back, right? But like something that I think a lot of like, especially newer people, white belts, blue belts, don't really understand. It's like, okay, so say you're like practicing this technique. It's like, oh, this doesn't work for me. I'm not going to work it. It's like, it does work. You just got to practice it. It's all about the repetition, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same, like what you're talking about with like, there's not black belt techniques. There's just techniques performed at the black belt level. And that's what it is. It's someone who's done the same technique for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, right? When you've done something so much, you figure out all the little intricacies. It's like, oh, I just got to move my hip right here.
Yeah.
And boom.
But do you really figure all of them out? Dojo?
Nope.
No, never.
Nope.
Well, you can't figure them all out,
Nope.
right?
Just making
There's
sure. I'm paying
always
attention.
it's literally it's figuratively. Sorry, I keep making that mistake around Tojo.
Motherfucker.
Figuratively,
call him out too, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was like,
Yeah.
I was not
It was in
seeing
the
right
whole-
here. I was like,
I always use this analogy. It's like buying a puzzle from Goodwill. You know there's a piece missing, but you're not gonna find out until that bitch is almost complete. Like, damn it, right?
I'm
There's
missing the eye.
always a piece missing.
That's
there.
when you flip the table and start from scratch.
Yeah, but that's what makes it so great. That's what makes it so great. There's always that little grip, that little inverted grip, thumb this way, whatever it is that makes it. Oh shit, that closed that little gap. But you know there's still another gap. It's still a Goodwill puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Levels
what?
within the levels.
You know what was super, like, light bulb for me was like, don't fight the choke. Like, obviously you're going to fight the choke, but he would. I felt like he gave me permission to allow myself to be choked.
Yeah,
and realize you're still okay.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you're going to pass out. And they'll let go. When that happens, they'll let go.
Yeah.
You know, this is
Yeah.
a great community.
You will not die. You will not die.
Fight the
Yeah.
choke.
Right.
Don't fight the joint lock.
Yeah.
Right.
But fight the choke.
Fight the
Because
choke.
worst
Yeah.
case scenario, we're gonna wake you up. We're gonna pick your feet up over your head.
Yeah, just put me in the what's
We're
the
gonna tell
rescue
you we're not in your
position,
bedroom. It's okay. What are you doing in my bedroom?
it's fine. Well, what was crazy, like, I don't know that anybody had ever said that to me, or I hadn't retained that before. Like, it's okay to get choked.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And then that was like a new permission that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, because I know I can handle this. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks,
Yeah.
but I can handle being choked.
Yeah.
And then, so now that I know I can handle being choked, I can work at the other problem so that I cannot be choked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, that was like, whoa,
Breakthrough.
my head just
The
exploded.
thing
Yeah.
that I took away from it the most was position over submission. It's like,
I'm gonna pee again.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, like, so like what you were saying is like, it's okay to be choked. It's like when someone's applying a choke to you on you with like, no, it doesn't matter what position it is, right? From the back, side control, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can break down their position, the submission goes away. Right. And that's basically what Milton was showing today. Right. Is like, yeah, I mean, like if it's deep, right? Yeah, you got to address it a little bit. But like if he's just putting it on and you don't let him establish the position where what he needs in order to finish that submission, then the choke is useless.
Yeah.
So it's way more important for you to focus on the position that you're in than the submission that person is applying on you, because there's no, you're like, it's not like, oh no, I let this person get too far into the choke. Now my arm's broken.
Right.
Right. Like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
arm
yeah.
bar or a Kimura, it's like, you need to address that, because if you don't, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get choked out, you're just going to go to sleep. So it's like, why the fuck not? Let's just, all right, he's got the choke. Let me worry about the position. Right. And if I can break his position down to the point where the choke is nullified, then I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
If not, I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, my thought process, it was really hard for me to take that lesson today,
Yeah.
because I've always been like defense first, protect your neck first, right? And then everything else is secondary. But what he said made a lot of sense. Like getting into a position where the choke is nullified,
Yeah.
right? As fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. They have to transition. So now you're looking at, okay, mount. How do I take that away? Right? Now you're thinking steps ahead, which
Yeah.
is part of the game, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the trick.
That-
But yeah, no, I love that as well. That
Yeah,
was
like
really good.
what Milton was talking about like burying your head to the ground, right? Where, because like a lot. We talk. It's really hard to like show that like in a podcast, but like the stuff that he was going through is like stuff that I show like when I'm talking about escape, especially from the back position.
Yeah.
Right. Either like dropping your hips and getting so low that that person's trying to choke you from their hip. Right. Because like what he was talking about earlier is like the prime position is when we're ear to ear. If I'm above his head or below his head, now that choke becomes less and less effective. And the quicker you can get into that position where you, and again, position above submission. So the quicker you can get into a position that is not conducive for that person's submission, then you don't have to worry about addressing the submission.
And you don't have to worry about points.
Right.
Yep.
You don't have to worry because it all comes.
They already took your back. They already got the points.
You're already
got
getting a
points.
score.
Yeah.
If you worry about position.
Right.
For submission.
Yeah, and we were
don't
talking.
concede the position
Right.
while going for a submission.
Yeah, and
Yep.
but don't get it twisted. If you're in a bad fucking armbar, address that
Tap.
fucking armbar or tap. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no position before submission when you're in an armbar or a Kimura.
No.
It's like you need to address that because that's when you're going to get injured.
Yeah.
Or a knee bar or heel hook or whatever it is.
The
Like,
second my
don't
grip is
fight
broken.
joint locks.
No, yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're new.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
know
'cause
how
you
to
don't
escape.
know,
You
yeah,
don't know how to escape.
exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
the person applying the joint lock usually. It's the person blasting out of it using strength
Yeah.
and athleticism who doesn't know technically how to escape.
But
Yeah.
again, the worst thing that's going to happen when you're getting choked out is you go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Right.
Yeah. Don't learn.
But don't. It's not really good for you to get choked out. But if
No,
you're
no,
gonna
of
test
course
the
not.
waters,
You're not going to die.
that's
You're
where
not
you wanna
going to
test it.
die.
'Cause you're not gonna have to
Right.
miss class.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but if your knee's blown out, you're having surgery. You can't go to work. You
Yeah.
have to deal with that
Yeah.
whole health insurance
Yeah.
debacle.
Yeah,
you
don't
know,
do
like
that.
there's
Depending on your scenario, that could be make or break for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
well,
if you blow your knee out and you can't afford to get knee surgery, well, it's like, well, guess what? You can't afford jiu-jitsu anymore.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So listen, the batteries on the cameras are going to die here soon. So I
We're
want to
killing it.
I want to close out. Yeah. I want to close out with one last question. If you could give yourself some advice, okay? Let's just say not
The
yourself,
younger him?
not yourself. Let's say a 20-year-old person that wants to start jiu-jitsu. What advice would you give that person today? Day 0. They're on day 0. They don't even have a belt yet.
Day 0. Go into it with an open mind, good attitude. Be willing to work harder than you've ever worked in your life for something that you don't even know what the reward will be. But it will be better than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Just trust it.
Yeah.
Because I went into it skeptical, just like all you guys did, probably.
Yeah.
And it's led to this amazing thing that's
Yeah.
bigger than me and bigger than all of us. Trust the process, all the cliches. And there's a lot of cliches in jiu-jitsu. And the longer you do it, all the cliches come true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At least the good ones.
We all
At least the good ones.
Alex knows, like, us talking about on the podcast enough. It's like, God, how many of the cliches have we said?
All of them.
All of them.
But
But it's like they're cliches, but they're like cliche for a reason
Yeah.
because they're like they fucking are true.
It's legit. It's not. We're not making this up.
It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's like really true.
One underutilized cliche that should be a cliche that was said by Jay Pages. It's like, if you don't like somebody in your jiu-jitsu academy, just wait.
Just wait.
They'll be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu has a real good way of getting rid of dicks.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson for everything in life, though. Like,
Yeah.
If you're not having a good time, just
wait.
If you're having a great time,
Just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait. It's always the answer.
Yeah. So, Aimee, same question.
Ooh.
Aimee wasn't ready.
No.
I wasn't ready. Holy
She
cow.
shook.
Yeah.
I know that for myself, if I had found jiu-jitsu earlier in my life, I would not have been able to handle it because younger me couldn't have handled something that is this hard.
Mm.
So go into it knowing that it's hard, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yeah.
All of the stuff in my life that has been hard, on the other side of it has been exponential reward. So the hard stuff is worth it. So accept and embrace that difficulty,
Yep.
and it will help you in every aspect of your life.
And it's weird, right? Like
cool.
a lot of people don't realize it. It's like you'll be like something I noticed is like doing like, so I have a very corporate job, but doing like meetings, like especially with higher up people like in the corporation, it's like none of these motherfuckers can hurt me.
do you look at them like the
Yes.
scene in Fight Club when
Yeah.
you're like when you
Just
got your
size 'em up.
shiner and they're like, "Hey,
Size
told you,
'em up.
where's that report?" And you're like, I'll get it to you.
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
Yeah.
But it's like it's a very subconscious thing, right? Because like realistically, you're like, I'm not gonna fight the CEO of
course, yes.
CVS Caremark, but like it's like that internal confidence that you get from like
It helps you with everything.
knowing
Yeah.
that you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know if it's more of a dude thing than it is a girl thing, but
I don't
like,
know. I tell my patients that I'll fight them.
Yeah,
If you mess around,
I think
you're
it's
gonna-
really important, especially for young men.
Yeah.
Because young men, like the reason that I think young men are as aggressive as they are is because they're fucking scared.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's insecurity, for sure.
Insecure. It's
Yeah.
like the quicker that the quicker that confidence comes and like not worrying about your physical like safety, the quicker you can be like, oh, I don't have to be a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And as instructors, dude, the last thing I want to do is get in a fight, bro. Like,
Right,
I got
yeah.
3 classes to teach later. I just fought a bunch of my best friends. We
Yeah.
had a beer after, had a
Yeah.
burger. Like, dude, I'm cool. Man.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll just walk away.
There was somebody, I can't remember who said this, but they said something like along the lines, I'm going to screw it up, but they said something like, it's really awesome to be freaking jacked when you go to a job where you don't have to be jacked. That's pretty fucking
And then we
awesome.
look at those jacked guys and we're like, that's
sissy.
funny. I can't wait to see what all your muscles do when I'm choking you out.
Yeah. So Tojo, same question.
For me, definitely like so you guys all started kind of like later. I started when I was 25, like in that peak of like
Assholeness?
assholeness,
Yeah.
fucking like idiotness, where you're like, I have the world figured out. I'm
Yeah.
25. I know
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and just listen.
Okay.
Right? Is like a big thing. But also like, especially like those 20 somethings, like I think it's really common is like they get in there and they're like, all right, so you teach this weird awkward position and they're like, this doesn't work for me. I'm just gonna fucking use muscle. Right? So it's like anything that you're taught, do your best to try to apply that technique during your live rounds.
Yeah.
Like try to like actually incorporate the things that are being taught to you, even if you feel like, oh, this isn't gonna work in my.
Yeah.
You don't fucking know, because like there's so many techniques that I remember like being taught when I was a white and blue belt that I'm like, yeah, this doesn't work in my game, and then like 6 years later, 7 years later, I'm retaught it, and I'm like, oh
my
I
gosh.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not a different person.
Yeah.
Like not really, right?
Yeah.
It's like but it's because I never gave it a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and then like later I had enough knowledge to actually give it a real chance. It's like take the time, like you were talking about Cabay, when you were talking about like when you were like the big dude always being on top, and he's like, hey, you should just play guard for a while. Be okay with with sucking. Like be
Yeah.
okay with being in that bad position. Like
Yeah.
Be
all right.
confident enough in yourself to suck at something for a while.
Exactly,
It's going to make you
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, I suck at half guard. Okay, then be in half
And
guard.
it's not just jiu-jitsu. Whatever it is.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
everything.
You know?
And then realize that it's okay to lose
Yeah.
the round. It's okay to lose the round against your friend in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, because you were applying something new that you don't really know, and
Yeah.
then they submitted you because you screwed it up, obviously.
Yeah, training
Right?
time isn't tournament
That's
time.
okay.
That's when you should be learning. That's when
Yeah.
you should
Yeah.
be playing with shit that you're like, oh, I suck at this position. Let's be in that position then.
Yeah.
How else are you going to get better at it?
Yeah.
Right.
You can't just be like, oh, I suck at half guard. I'll just never be in half guard. What? Never doesn't work. Like, oh, I suck
Yeah.
at escaping mount. Well, I guess I'll just never let someone mount me. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's such a stupid way of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of younger people think of a lot of jiu-jitsu techniques like that. They're like,
yeah.
oh, this doesn't work. I'm not good at this particular technique, or like it doesn't click immediately.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck this technique.
Yeah, well, today was a good example because, the only thing I do in 50-50 is get the hell out of 50-50. That's literally what I do.
I'm not a big fan of it.
No. But
I like he didn't show it today though.
Yeah. I still use that pass.
I do too.
Yeah.
But what I loved about today is he found a way to force 50-50, right? So you force 50-50, and then you basically apply pressure on your opponent's leg to force them to come up, right? In their 50-50, they come up, and then you sweep them. Right? So, bam, you get your couple sweeping points, right? And then you apply that pass that he showed before, the Michael Jackson pass. Now you got a guard pass.
It
So-
was John Travolta.
Was
Thank
it?
you
I'm
very
sorry,
much.
Michael Jackson. The Michael Jackson was the X guard pass, right? Son John Travolta. I got.
It's really James Brown.
It really is.
I'm
when
not
you
correcting.
when you get down
Milton's
to
right.
it,
You guys
Milton's
are
right.
old as fuck.
when you get down to it, it's all James Brown. No, but if I could offer advice to someone just coming in, is something I stole from you. Understand that it's a lifelong process.
Yeah.
It is literally a lifelong process.
And you'll never be the best at it, or perfect at it.
And it's okay if you don't understand the technique today.
Yeah.
It's okay. One example I give is, I can't remember who was doing the seminar. It might have been Q or it might have been Samir or whatever, but it was at Paul's place years ago. And they're showing this technique from, I think it was like a Delhi, whatever it was. But I was getting it. And I was like, oh, shit, like, that makes total sense. And then Van Buren walks by, and he's like, I've been telling you that for 4 years. Fuck. My bad, dude.
That sounds about right.
And like to hit on
And
that
he was
though,
right.
real quick.
He was right.
Sometimes that's the path, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like don't feel. I don't think people should feel bad about that, because sometimes like you do need to hear. Like, you know, I think Aimee, maybe you mentioned this earlier about like when we were at lunch. About like sometimes your parent, or no, maybe Milton was talking. It doesn't fucking matter. Someone said this earlier about like when your parents tell you something, you're like over and over and over again. You're like, fuck them, they don't have it.
Yeah, they don't know.
They're idiots.
Yeah.
And then like some other like mentor person in your life just like, hey, you should do this, and you're like, oh, and your parents are like, yeah, I fucking told you.
That's
fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need that other person.
Yeah.
Right. And so don't fucking necessarily like, you know, oh, I'm a fucking moron because I didn't get it the first time.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
You don't have any kids, do you, Tojo?
fuck no, I have a dog. I have 2 dogs, and they're wonderful, my sweet babies.
But you know, but the thing is, even something as simple as, like, in our minds, as simple as a scissor sweep is a very complex movement.
Yeah.
It's a very complex movement,
Especially when you know nothing.
right. But a lot of things have to go right in order to execute a scissor sweep, right? So just the fact that you're not getting it day one, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, maybe year 5, you're nailing a scissor sweep.
Could you imagine if like every technique you're just like right when it's taught, you're like, oh, I got it.
Gosh,
That's what I told my
That would be
guys today.
boring. That'd be so boring.
They came to the seminar today. When we got to 5 and 6, and we're doing the twister hook and the crab ride, and they're like, I'm like, it's okay that you don't understand that.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
You will someday.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll make sense.
Yep.
It's good to be exposed to it so that you see how deep the ocean is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for the less experienced people who like, so I was the Uki all day today. When Milton was like getting into like the deep shit, I was like, he's like, yeah, all right, so set up the twister hook. I'm like, what the fuck does he want me to do? Like, like that's not a
You
position.
pulled it off pretty good. Though.
That's not a position I do, but trust me, like I was like trying to figure that out on the fly here, and like so I don't know if it portrayed that way, but like just
Nobody knows.
No.
you're not.
Nobody noticed.
Alex
But
and
the point is
I
like
did.
you're not good. Yeah, fuck you. I like to see you do it.
we were just right there.
I think he was the one that shoved you towards Milton to be the.
Oh yeah, he's like Jojo.
That's right. Who's gonna be my?
But like,
Yeah,
be
I
okay.
did see that, by
Be
the
okay with looking stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
It's okay. It's good
Or all
for
the
you.
time.
Yeah, it's
Because
we're all the
eventually
time.
you
for-
won't.
And it's good for the ego.
Yeah.
And that word hasn't come up. Another cliche in jiu-jitsu. But it's an ego crusher.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
No matter how much you like, but my point was like, I was trying to play it off, but like definitely I felt fucking stupid right for like a split second where I'm like, what do you want me to do with my legs? Oh, okay, this is where you want me. Okay, all right, now I get it. All right,
You
now
pulled
I-
it off. Buddy.
Yeah.
You
You
pulled
did
it off.
good. You did good. Well, listen.
That's 10 years of jiu-jitsu.
The
right there.
batteries are dying. So before we cut
Fuck
off,
your batteries.
yeah, I know. So I want you to tell everybody how they can find you, and you know we already talked about your location, but just
Sure.
like
Let's
Instagram
reiterate. Do
shit.
it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Instagram is Greywolf Aries BJJ. You can find me in Paradise Valley, Northwest Phoenix at Greywolf Aries BJJ again, 4030 East Thunderbird Road, Phoenix, Arizona. Right behind Anytime Fitness.
Insta.
And you can, Insta is Greywolf Aries BJJ.
I think
Yes,
that
say
Anytime
that.
Fitness is right next to Greywolf.
That's right.
Too.
That's
Yeah.
right. They are in front of you. You're not behind them.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. We're talking about ego.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it. You don't have to.
Yeah,
we'll
you
do
don't
it.
have
We'll
to.
do it. For
I'm
you.
around that area. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's listen. If I could say anything to anybody, find an academy in your area with good accredited lineage and go train. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you are.
Yeah.
Go train. It will make you better at being a human.
Yeah.
I'm with
All
you
right.
on that one.
So before we close out, I know we did these the last show, but it was kind of like in a group setting. So I want to hit you with the lightning round.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's
You got to answer these quick though.
Okay. I'll
Just
go.
whatever comes to mind. All right. Ready?
Okay. Go.
Name a game show you think you could actually win.
Price is Right.
What's your favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
What's the longest you've gone without brushing your teeth?
A week.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Sweet Caroline.
Nice.
Ba, ba, ba.
There's
Neil
always
Diamond.
one in the crowd. What's a dumb song you secretly like?
The Wrecking Ball one with
That's
I
a
think that was
great
mine. I think it
song.
was mine. I like that song. That song's fire.
It's so inspirational.
That's
Yeah.
a badass song.
I don't give a fuck if
Awesome.
she's crazy as shit.
badass
That
song.
song is fire. Yeah.
All right. Do you sleep in or take a nap?
Both.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Neither.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Yes.
Would you travel into the future or back in time?
Can I say both?
You got to pick.
Back in time.
Rolling Stones or Elvis?
Elvis.
What's your favorite childhood TV show?
Speed Racer.
Ooh, nice one. Nice one.
We're
Yes.
going anime almost.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Good
it.
for you.
All right, everybody. If you love the podcast, please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at the BJJ Foxcast, YouTube, anywhere else you can find this podcast. I want to ask everybody, please give us a review on Spotify because it helps the algorithm and help more people check out the show.
What'd you call me? I'm not.
I'll fill them in later. I'll fill them in later. But hey, John, thanks for doing this, man. It's an honor having you on board, man, or having you on the show and having you on board with the team, man.
I love you guys.
I love you,
I
buddy.
love you too.
All right, thanks everybody.